Yo, what's going on, everyone? It is your favorite after discussion for OWN TV's Ready to Love. Okay, this is season 5, episode 11, All in the Family. But as you can see, your favorite host, Gustavo, and I got a guest.
We sure do.
Hey
guys, how you doing?
We don't have just
Tori
a guest.
in the
We have one of our
building.
favorites. One of our favorites from this season. We are so lucky and blessed to have him on this right here.
Well, I feel honored that y'all having me. I really do.
Thanks.
Good. And you know what? You should feel honored because you are the first guest on our show, and we've been at this like weekly.
Okay, yeah, you sent me a few of them, and I really liked them. And I always like Gusto's comments. His comments are very on point. I don't think you said anything I have disagreed with yet.
Oh shit! Thank you. I disagree with myself every day, so I appreciate that.
Well, I've only seen a couple, and they were generally about some scenes that I've had in the past, and this is at the beginning. So
yeah,
Well, shoot.
That's awesome. Yeah, like we stand for you. I feel like that's cool. It's a nice validation to feel like, because I feel like I see you. I feel like I understand you,
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Love that. I love that too. And of course, we got our
B.
super fans in the building. What up, B?
Hi, B.
Can you believe it?
I know. Look at our guest.
We nabbed a celeb. She says, hi, Tori.
Hey, how you doing, B?
Got a little backwards, but
Troy.
we've been doing that too. Right.
Yeah.
You don't understand. When this first started, I kept calling you Troy. I was like, Troy, Tori, because we make notes. And when I'm writing it down, I'm like, Troy, Tori. Like, I couldn't get it together for like 4 episodes. But I'll never
Yeah,
forget
you'll be
now.
amazed how many people they misspell Tory or say it wrong. So.
And it's 4 letters. Like, what are we doing in this world?
It's kind of confusing though. Like the 4 of them together, our brain probably switches to the automatic, right?
Yeah.
Of like, and it's like, nope, try again, brain.
That's
right. True. You got the letters transposed. Hey, what's up, Najee? Yes, we need a Surviving Sabrina Foundation. I got so many thoughts on that, y'all. Like, so many thoughts. So
I just seen this episode today, like maybe an hour ago, and I did not know. I did not know.
Well, that's the best part. We can count on Najee to come in here and say the things we really want to say.
No. I'm here to support all my castmates. I am, everybody's, wonderful.
Absolutely. We'll start with the disclaimer now that we usually start with anyway. Like, first and foremost, this is a TV show, and we have the utmost respect for every single person that's willing to be vulnerable and seen on this platform. So whatever we say, we are just voices in this moment. We don't hold a torch to the people that are going through the experience, first and foremost. So absolutely. Love to everybody on the show.
Yeah, it's all love. What you guys are doing is extremely, like, I rarely date in real life, let alone on national TV. So this is a lot. And it looks like it takes a lot just to be there and to be present and having experience on reality TV. I don't think people realize how exhausting it is. They stand up there asking you things and questions and wait times and rooms and heat and food and hunger and annoyance. And you still have to show up on camera and and it's just like, it's a lot. There's so much to it. So
a lot of waiting, a lot of stop, pause. So you might be talking to somebody organically and be like actually having genuine chemistry. And then, you have people that can't be seen, be like, stop. And then you're like in the middle of a conversation that's organic. And then you have to start a conversation that's no longer organic. So it does mess with chemistry. People don't get to see that part. It's like chemistry gets messed up a lot. Like what could have been sometimes takes a hard pause.
Yeah, it's hard enough just to stay in the present moment when dating anyway, right? Stay out of your own mind, your own head, and just be you completely. So and that's when you start to feel the chemistry with somebody. For someone to be like, cut, hold up, we can't have that in the back. I'd be like, shit. Then all the stuff that I probably just worked on to center myself and be present is like, oh God, I got to get back there again. It's quite the feat, I'm sure, especially in real life. Like I can't even, so. What inspired you to go on this? Like, besides, of course, being ready to love, did you watch the show beforehand?
Which we do think you are ready to love.
Well,
if we haven't made that clear, I think maybe one of the only like 4 people on this season. We've That's definitely being like, he's ready to love. There's no doubt about it. The way that you move, the way you speak, the way you handle yourself, your emotional
Thank you.
complexity, your vulnerability, it's all the right pieces are there for you to receive what you deserve, which is love, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in giving people like you up front. That way they know what they're getting. Like a lot of people, they fail to communicate when they meet each other and they fail to set the standards of what they want. So I feel like if you give the person who you are, it doesn't matter what it is, if it's the business part of you, the character part of you, the corny side of you, they need to understand what they're getting up front so they can have that little list of, hey, this is the person I met, this is the person I'm going forward with. As for me doing the show, I was reached out to by the show. Somebody said, hey, one of their production members, and was like, this might be a good opportunity to meet, singles and get an opportunity to meet somebody that's on your level. So, no, I have never watched the show prior, didn't know what to expect. And from what I hear, the only season I've actually even seen, to be honest with you, is our season and maybe one episode of like season 3. So from what I hear, it's kind of like how it is now is totally different from like how it was before they started shooting DC seasons. But it was just a good opportunity to like get outside of my box and date but let somebody actually have a little hand on the steering wheel. Because I felt at this point in time, maybe I'm not doing the best driving in my own direction. So
Right. Yeah. I hope this was, do you feel like it was validation that you can trust in your autopilot that you've set your conscious to be in?
yes, but I think sometimes like on this episode, Demetrius said best, because that's the actual conversation we had at the house. It's like following your gut. Like a lot of times we don't follow our gut because we're so intense about somebody. We're tunnel vision, and it's like and you know better. And this is just about anybody, but you still don't follow that gut feeling. You just want what your mind wants, what your heart wants, and sometimes but we choose to follow those decisions.
You're yelling at me right now, Tori. You're yelling at me.
Someone needs to.
Oh, man, I know.
You know the feeling, huh? You know the feeling where you've had that gut feeling, but you just still keep moving forward.
Yeah, it's, I talk about it all the time. And I've even talked about it before I was able to understand the depths of what that meant for me and how to follow it. Because I feel like the way we are trained or brought up, or the ideas that we have about love and what needs to be done, and I feel like what a lot of you guys are kind of depicting in the show, it reflects that such a cerebral part of things. Like, well, I'm here for the process. I'm here for the process. And what I hear in my real life dating is like, well, I'm giving them grace. I'm giving understanding. I'm making room. Nobody's perfect. This is how. So all of these inauthentic things come in when really your gut was like, it could be when you're sitting there at dinner. It could be when you sit on their lap or vice versa. It can be and there's just these moments and these things that we generally are not exploring.
Mm-hmm.
Because our minds and our desire for the thing and the person is just like, I'm gonna make it work. Which we watched Demetrius struggle bad with this. Sabrina got Demetrius, it's over, boo. Let it go, baby. It was never anything. So I'm watching him kind of go through the same thing in this episode, like, but I'm willing to make it work. But I'm willing to make it work. And she's like, How much
Not
more?
the serial killer sign.
Backing up. She's gonna be like a little dot in a minute, and he's like, "But I'm willing." It's like, what are we doing to ourselves?
Yeah. But one thing about it, I will say, in Demetrius' defense, you never know what was told to him. So, being somewhere like partially in a situation, you don't know what was told to him. You don't know what was said, and to have it changed out like last minute on him may have just shocked him. He may be like, well, everybody's gone right now. So of course the attention is going to be on me. Why is the attention not on me? Because, this is what you said you wanted. And now everybody's gone. You may not, you're seeming like you don't want it no more. So that may be his last minute shock, because it was certain things in the moment that I noticed, which kind of made me pull back. And this is not speaking on anybody particularly, just in general. But, you know, one thing he said at the end of this episode was he should have followed his gut. And I think, you know, it was a point where when it came to the show, I had to follow my gut.
Yeah.
And it's not to bash anybody. It's just, you got to know it's for you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things are just not for you, or you got to be willing to know what you're willing to accept. And I feel like I'm a good person. I come with the intention, so I know what I'm willing to accept.
Yeah, and I love that. I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Najee says, Gus and Jaimi have been championing Tori in this Ready to Love. I, on the other hand, have said otherwise. He has sometimes. It's all love in here. We ain't hating, but sometimes Najee be like, I don't think Tori's ready. Jessica.
Yeah. Jessica.
What up, lady? Never
right
late, always on time, boo. She says, hey,
Yep.
Tori.
Hey, Jessica, how you doing?
Yes, everyone's here. Tori, you are just so genuine. Your boo just wasn't there.
Yep.
I agree with that. I think Sabrina just likes the push and pull. She don't know what she really wants. Oh my God, so many questions. Okay, we're gonna pause right there and we're gonna get into more questions. Because
my mind.
I know. So, Tori, what did you feel overall about just the experience in general? What did you learn? How did you grow? How did this shift your perspective on dating? What gift did you get from this process?
I think a drink for that.
Take a sip. We got a moment.
Now, this situation or this scenario was very high pressure, very like everything was sped. It was like dating on crack. And it was definitely intense dealing with a lot of people's energy. What I realized and I took from this situation is I don't have the capacity to deal with 151 people at one time. Like, you got to realize you're in the men's lounge. You're dealing with the guys and their energy towards one woman. You're dealing with the women and their energy towards you and getting their perspectives. And it's like, and then you're dealing with the production side. And it's like so much is weighing on you. And who I am, I stay with the center of balance. And it's like you have a lot of energies directed towards you at once, and you're still trying to focus on your own. It starts to help, it kind of teeters you. And it helps you, like, I feel like you start losing focus. The date was pretty good. They didn't show a lot of me and Sabrina's dates. We went on like 5 or 6 dates before they even got to the beach house. I feel like a lot of things weren't shown, but it taught me to just follow my gut, be a little bit more reserved on how you feel, and just have boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to have boundaries. So, like, I'm not going to accept this, but you accept it. You're like, okay, I'm going to accept a little bit. Maybe it's going to change down the road. No. If it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah. I feel like coming out of this experience, you must feel like a superhero. Because everything that you just said is like all the tools you need to sharpen your discernment to like really be what you want to be, which is ready for love with the right person, right? Like it's like a masterclass. What you got? It's just, it seems like that was, you know, I'm a firm believer that we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Maybe it just makes me feel better about life, but I like that. I'd rather have that perspective. I see the benefit in that, not just spiritually, but physically and emotionally as well. And it feels like watching somebody like you on this show who was so ready, but had to like go through everything you just said, which is like way more than the ordinary person is to be ready and find love. You must, because of your awareness is so obvious, you're so centered, like you said, you must feel like a fucking superhero now after that. Like you came and you conquered. I hope you do. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Well, I mean, I didn't look at it like that. I didn't look at it, honestly, I didn't even, be honest with you. Like I said, I've never really seen the show beforehand. I didn't realize how many people watch the show. You know, honestly, I was like maybe a few thousand, and yeah, I barely watch TV, and I know it sounds bad because you're supposed to read the fine print into what you're getting to, but I didn't come into the intentions of thinking that I was going to be a superhero or some celebrity or somebody that was just going to get this much attention. I thought it was just going to be an average Joe meeting somebody maybe that's going to possibly live a lifetime with me and keep it moving.
Yeah, I love
that's
that.
the hopes, right?
No, go ahead.
I guess that was the hopes, like the hope of finding something long term.
I think that too is why you came off so just authentic. Again, like we said, you did seem ready to love. It seemed like you're just a regular guy coming in here, really trying to find out who to date, get a little help, like you said, with a hand on the steering wheel, like introduce me to somebody and, you know, whatever, let's see where it goes, because things aren't coming into my orbit the way I would like. So let's try this.
Yeah.
And I really admire what you said, because it's funny. I feel like we talk about these things like follow your gut, have boundaries, blah, blah, blah. But there is a different resonance in that thing when you actually know what that means in your life. And what I mean by actually is like, follow your gut also comes, it sounds good, but it also comes with some action. And you as an individual have to know what that follow-up action is, what it sounds like, what it means to you, and how to communicate. Because you can feel something in your gut and then it's just like, okay, I feel it, but where do I go from here? So there's just so much depth. Even though it was 1-2 sentences that you gave us, there was so much depth, guidance, and direction in that, because it holds all the weight. This is how we're actually going to get to the point where we are with someone we can spend a lifetime with. And we all single on here, so we talk about this all the time. You know, I've learned the same lessons about just, okay, now I know, okay, my gut, oh, my boundaries. And it is just so much easier for me to navigate. But in order for me to get there, it was a little fugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it was horrible.
And you know what I'm starting to find too, since I've been in the DC area? DC area is a little bit different than meeting women in the South. People deal breakers in DC, and I feel like the show is indicative to how DC is. People in DC, since I've been here and met, like in dating world, or even just listening to the guy friends or my coworkers, or even to females that I meet randomly and talk about their relationships. I feel like the show is definitely indicative to the dating here. But people here have deal breakers that are not deal breakers. Like, I'm from the South where, you know, it has to be something strenuous for me to not be able to want to go forward with a relationship or not want to work through things. I think people here, they want their cookie cutter person when they meet them. That person has to be perfect, a gingerbread man, no chips, no nothing, perfect glaze on. And people don't realize you got to work towards your perfect person. Sometimes people have to make mistakes up front so they can improve later and become like that perfect person. They got you, like, it's like having a piece of wood and carving your perfect relationship out. It's okay to have those problems at the beginning because now you're ironing them out and they won't come up later. You know, and I think that's what I'm learning about a lot of people here. There's no commitment. There's a lot of quit. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a lot of what I say online dating, where a person meets people online, they meet. This is just a consistent thing. If nothing comes from it, they meet somebody else online, and people are having a hard time being like meeting up front, like me meeting you at a grocery store. Like, you're so used to everything online, the Instagram, the DMs, the person that's hitting you on the app. You're more comfortable with that person than the person coming to you in your face, which is weird to me.
I'm with you on that, Tori. I can't do the online. I would love to meet someone in a grocery store.
Whole Foods.
I mean, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's,
always...
HEB, whatever we're doing, it's fine.
100%.
Whatever you do, that's
yeah, I need to feel the energy. Yeah.
In the wine section, so y'all know y'all got the same selection going.
Something we both reach for the same wine, but you like Sauvignon Blanc? Okay.
Oh, perfect.
What's your favorite wine?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay, I'm a Houston, right? Meet you Whole Foods at 7.
H-Town. That's right. I'm here. I am here. I mean, I love what you said. That's very true. So my follow-up question to that is, why do you think it's like that? Why do you think we're in a space where we have lost genuine connection and we're so willing to flip people over so quickly?
Accents. I think that's the key, best word. Like, think about it like this. Me growing up, and I'm telling my age, I had to go get a pen and paper to get a number. Like, then I had to wait till the girl went home to call her. And if she wasn't home, I had to wait the next day to call her. I actually had to have a conversation with her to get her mentality and understanding who she was before we can even go on a date. Because we didn't have GPS. So I had to take time to figure out where we're going. I think now it's so much easy access. Oh, well, this individual missing a few traits. I can still swipe left and I can swipe right. Or, I got Instagram. I got a whole list of people in my DMs because I do crazy stuff on the internet, and everybody wants to talk to me because I got a little bitty shorts on, or as a man, I got my shirt off. You know, everybody has access. It's like looking into a candy store every time you go on the line. Do I want that sneaker bar? Do I want that? And it's all become superficial, um, without substance. And I think it's just changed the way of dating.
Which is
Let me know if I'm
crazy.
rambling though.
No, you good. This is about you. People listen to us talk all the time.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think especially when you go to DC as opposed to the South, you're dealing with the city slickers, right? And city slickers are all about that. Like you said, give me that gingerbread man or woman that is perfectly cut out to be what I'm looking for. Need. I don't have time for it. I'm moving quick. But in that that hasty speed, you tend to neglect the important things. And so, yeah, and I think in this state of mind, in this way that we all are moving consciously of like having the options with wondering, is this really good for me? Do I want this? Or can I swipe and find something else that I might want? Or with that never ending cycle happening, I think it's hard for people to commit to themselves more than alone, let alone somebody else.
Preach. I mean, that's right.
To me, that's the problem. What commitment do we have to ourselves? Because the way people are treating you and everything outside of themselves is reflective of the way they treat themselves. And I think we're all a little old school, okay? 80s babies. I'm an 80s baby. You know, I grew up in the 90s too, where it's like, it was really exciting for a guy to get your number. He would write down the pager number, go ask we in the clothing store, go ask her for the pen, write it on a scrap, we good.
Yeah.
I didn't have an answering machine on my phone, so yeah, you had to keep trying me. You know, so there was all these things, and
that sounds so romantic.
Oh, it was so much fun. Oh,
Yeah.
like to go to the mall and get numbers. That was just like, girl, we about to go.
Hey, that was the spot. You go to the mall. You want to meet somebody? Go to the mall. Y'all watch the courtyard like 20 times.
You got to walk the court, like, you know, or, you know, and just making mixtapes and guys playing you music. And it was just, there was so much more to it.
You said it there. I forgot all about that. When you just make that girl that mixtape, let her know how you feel. Yeah.
We be over there melting. Let me get a good CD, please. Like, there was so many more layers to things. And I think we're all built like that. Gus, I know you're built like we're so nuanced and there's so many more layers. So I agree. It's challenging for me to navigate this because I don't treat myself like that. I don't swipe quick. If I'm feeling something, I sit with it. If I need something, I honor it. If I, you know, slower, I guess.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about the carving and things like that, I love that because when two people get together, they're two completely separate people. So in order to make that energy work, it is going to take time. There's no way out the gate. It's just going to be like, you can have the chemistry and the ingredients that make that work. But in order to really marinate on that, it's going to take time and carving and moments. And it's just a lot. It's more than, like you said, people are willing to do in these times.
That's true.
I think it's harder for us too, you know, because essentially, like, beyond media and film, romanticizing and poetry and books telling us about like fairy tale love and all that stuff, we kind of had more of the opportunities to experience it, right? For everything you guys are both saying, where it's like getting your page number, going to the mall, knowing it's a definite thing, just playing the game in a different context, in a different form. And then today, being in such a different world at our age, then trying to figure out how to date and shift what we innately were back then into this paradigm which exists now, where it's hard to feel like you even have a voice in it, because it seems like when I speak, you think I'm speaking Mandarin to you, or if I act, that's so awkward or weird. And I know just for myself personally, it was never easy for me in the first place because I was a gay man in the 90s in a conservative town, essentially. And I wasn't like you guys getting numbers and dating and all that stuff. So that was, but I was innately that way. I was sending boys that I had crushes on mixtapes on their car at night, like, just doing the things and going searching for love in the wrong places, but still feeling that way. And now being able to actually be able to do it fully in this space of this world that supports it a little more, those modalities aren't received. It's like it's different for us. The way we innately act is just it's a rarity, and it's rare form, and it makes it a little harder. It does. And I think that's probably why we stand you this whole time, is now talking to you. I understand more intuitively, and just and more factually. It's like, yeah, we all are kind of cut from the same cloth, and there's not much of this cloth going around in the world right now.
Yeah, and people are so indecisive these days to make it. They're so indecisive, they're afraid to make a decision. It's like, well, this goes with ties in with indecisiveness, also ties in with accessibility. So you have a good person maybe not making that money that you expect them, or they're maybe not that sociable that you expect them to be. So they might be missing a few things. But, you know, people are like, well, I can just continue to look for somebody that has all those things. You're still looking because that next person might not have to be missing something. People just don't want to make a decision and go with it these days. And unfortunately, if you don't make a decision, how would you ever know? The worst thing about making a decision is knowing that it was successful or it was a failure. That allows you to keep moving on.
You know what? That make a decision thing, I mean, is major. Like, you have to commit. And we're so quick to do it when it comes to work. If I can sit with a man and he's so, I want to do this and I want to do this for work and mentor kids. You can say all of that, but you can't choose a woman. You're over here, you're over there.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no commitment, and I know not everybody thinks like me, but I was relating to you. You had said something in episode, like, I think it was 3. You're like, damn, she got a lot of energy for 3-4 people at a time. 100%. I can't do that.
Yeah,
100%. We were like,
and that was no shame, but I ain't got all that energy. Like,
no, yeah.
I gotta pick something.
Have 3 or 4 conversations with one person in one night. You know, like, I can't do it. Like, it's a lot. I barely have time. I want my own little personal space. Plus, I'm a single dad, so.
Yeah, you're a single dad, so your time is precious, and it's not, I want to say planned out, but it's like you're extremely intentional nowadays, even more than you probably were before, which so that's.
And why not be? Because it's that intentionality. It's going to tell you what you need to know. You're not missing out on. It's the only way. I can always tell when a dude's energy is split, and it's a real turnoff for me, because there's no way you're going to be able to get the value out of this interaction if you're not present for it. Like, energy is real. I can't. I don't know. So I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Jessica says, yes, boundaries are very important, and communicating them up front is key, as best as you can, right?
That is true. Very true.
Najee says, Tori standing up and expressing more of his wants and needs is very commendable. Hope he finds his person very soon. Mona, welcome to the chat.
Hi, Mona.
Tori, you were Sabrina's best match. Sad she could not see this before she self-eliminated.
Thank you.
Jessica, there's no such thing as a perfect person. I'm going through. Najee, I know you had a question. I'm going to get back to that one these days. And I would have to agree.
Yeah, I think we all are just feeling the pressure to be perfect.
But what does that mean?
Just from what we're talking about, it feels like we're like, oh, so they're identifying as having to be perfect. They're trying to find the other perfect person because I'm perfect. And society, like you said, the booty shorts, the perfect body, the accessibility to just try to navigate through all the stuff that you want. Like, perfection seems like something that is idealistically easily obtained and something that we could represent and portray and look for in the other person. But people aren't realizing that that doesn't exist. Like, we're not supposed to be that. We're imperfectly imperfect. And when you can see that with somebody else and you choose to bridge those gaps and see that and love them more for that and like draw you closer because of their imperfections, like, you start to experience humanity, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. But it feels so AI and like this perfect thing. So we're disattaching from like the substance that's necessary for a humanistic experience.
I agree. I think what we all try to find is somebody that looks at that imperfection as perfect. Like, I remember dating a woman in college. She had a gap in her tooth, and to me, I thought it was cute. To her, she felt like it was something wrong with her. She felt ashamed. But to me, looking at her, it was beautiful. Like, even to a woman not being satisfied with her chest or any kind of physical feature, I'm like, you look good. Like, and I always tell a woman if we're doing a FaceTime or conversation, and they be like, oh, I got to put makeup up on it. I don't want all that. Because I can't deal with you at your worst. I don't deserve to deal with you at your best. Let's just be honest with you. I like to see what I'm getting. I want to have an understanding. You need to know what you're getting. let's go ahead and do this up front. So a lot of people don't want to put it up front. Put it up front. It's okay to put it up front because that's where you weed out people sooner than later. And people are so on pause or hold or so reserved. Nah, I give people 100% of me, let you know what you're getting. You don't like it, cool. But I know up front and I didn't waste several months of my time.
Yes, 100%. Oh my God. The more I'm getting to know you, I never really approve of people from my friend over here. I'm like, can you guys go on a date? Can you guys like drink wine over FaceTime together sometime?
This is my friend daddy. He's like my other
well,
daddy.
like, I'm like, I don't, when I'm always listening, like, fuck, and I'm listening to you, I'm like, oh my God, I would love for you to date a man that is like this. I'm not putting the pressure out there, but I'm just saying, like, that's genuinely how I'm feeling. I'm like, fuck.
I
Like,
know.
this is awesome. You are such a rarity, and it's such a joy to hear somebody like you speak. It really is. And that's why we loved watching you on the show, because we felt that. We saw that without even getting the opportunity like we are now to really hear you and see you, because, you know, I've been in the industry for 30 years, so I know production does production. So, but even with production doing production, we still saw you, we still heard you, and it's just really beautiful to sit here and have a conversation with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And, you know, Jessica says, I can't open myself up fully without commitment. That's reserved for those who feel the same way. And I feel you, Jessica, but I'm also on the fence as I hear you talk, Tori, because I know that's been like a thing for me. I don't know. There's a lot of colors over here. I don't know how quickly you're going to get all of what I have to offer, but sometimes I can be like a little bit of a slow leak just because, yeah, I'm testing the waters too. I'm kind of putting my toe in, seeing where things are, you know, being authentic, but I don't know. I feel like I'm right in the middle of both of what you're saying, Jessica and Tori, because I think there's a safety to it. And I think when we talk about the climate of dating and what things look like, combined with the way people like us grew up, it just feels like, I'll speak for myself. If I'm putting out that energy, I'm dead ass. So if you're not that type of person and you're coming with the swipe left, swipe right, dating all these people, and we get together, like, I'm gonna be the one that has to go home with my little trauma and fix that, when you are just, this is how you do. So it does feel like, okay, finding that safety to lean in, because it's not about not being able to be yourself or putting things on Front Street, but it is about discerning who can really handle it. And it doesn't even mean we have to end up together, but there has to, I'm trying to find the fine line as we speak.
Yeah.
Like, what does that really look like?
I respect your perspective. I think, like you said, it's kind of like leans you on the fence. But the reason I say that is because you have different type of people in this world. Like, you may be one of those people that feel like somebody needs to earn trust. He may be one of those people who feel like trust is given until it's lost. We all perceive things differently, but it's the results that that should matter. And I think sometimes we're so caught up on the methodology of how we're going to do it, but we're forgetting the results. It's just dealing with people that we can trust.
You must be a great dad, because you just led with the most important thing about like a nurturing, healthy, loving relationship is. I hear what you're saying. I appreciate your perspective. And then you kindly gave us yours as well. Like, you have a lucky, you have a daughter or a son?
No, I have a daughter. I have two daughters.
What lucky kids they are to have. You can just tell you're a great dad. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really obvious. That's really cool that they have someone like you.
Yeah,
especially in this world.
I try to get other people's perspectives and sides, and I can understand. Like, getting to my age, not saying I'm an old man or older, just getting to my age, I've had to unpack a lot. And if people are afraid to step outside of themselves, like, to me, I've gotten to the level of life where I'm able to step out myself and realize we may see things differently. You know, I may look at something differently. Like, I may address something in a text message kind of short to you. You may feel like I have an attitude about it. To me, I'm just like, I have that chemistry with you that I feel like it can be short. Perception is different. And at my age, I've got to know that people perceive things differently. So I don't assess everything how I see it. You know, I try to have a common ground with the Twitter thing, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you think having kids was the thing that helped? Like, I know personally for me, children helped me understand that the most, right? Everything you're just saying, like, because you want to be better for your kids. It's not about you anymore. Was it your two daughters that kind of set you on that understanding or that clarity and path to like move as you do now?
Well, in regards to women, yes. In regards to understanding, no, because with them, like we're from the South, I still try to instill those standards that I grew up with. I have conversations with my daughters. We have genuine talks. I let her know what to expect and be treated. I open the doors for my daughter. I take care of them in a way that they understand their father is the first observation to dealing with men in the future.
Yeah.
And, certain things like even when it comes to dating, nobody would tell you they met my daughter off top. I can, like my 15-year-old, I can count on 3 fingers at the age of 15 besides her mother. No, I'm sorry, 2 other fingers besides her mother that she's met. And setting those standards, I don't want her to see women in and out, even if I was dating, unless I know where you're coming from, where you're going to be, your intentions, because, me being the man that I am, they're going to gravitate to somebody. And if they see somebody in my life, they're going to be like, okay, this is it. And they're going to gravitate to them because they're very open and loving. They want to see their daddy happy. My youngest daughter, the one that lives with me, she says, "Daddy, did you have a bad day?" I'd be like, "No, why?" I just want to make sure if anyone has beat nobody up.
Get them, little. How old is your youngest?
She's 7. She checks on my day every day. It is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I'm such a daddy's girl. Like, I mean, I love my mom. My mom is my glitter. I call her my glitter. She's my energy, my personality, all these creative little things I'm able to come up with. That's my mom. But my dad is like very much like that. He was such a foundational person in my, and still like, he just called me 20 minutes. I talk to my dad every day.
That's good. Like that.
Yeah, my dad, he's an amazing man. And I talk to him about dating stuff a little bit more these days.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to get into all that because, I was raised, my dad was not only, Christian, but a military man. So there was a lot of restrictions on what I felt like I was able to do. But, you being a dad of 2 girls in this climate and seeing how things are, what are you thinking about when it comes to parenting? And because I'll say this, and I don't have children, so I don't want to overstep my boundaries, but, you can be an example, which is absolute perfection. But what other things do you plan on inviting into their life to kind of help them navigate
this world,
real life? Because I don't feel like I got real life conversation. Like, I'm going to tell you now, like, when and if I have children, God willing, I really want to tell them, like, you gonna feel like this when this dude comes for you. You're gonna want it. You're gonna want to be there. You're gonna want to. I need you to really understand how to navigate what you got going on, because I just feel like I wasn't prepared. My dad's an amazing man. He was never a cheater. He was always spent time with me, all these things, but I just don't know if I was really prepared to actually deal with what men really come with. So do you have anything in place that you feel like you want to share with them to help navigate dating specifically, especially the 15-year-old? She's coming up.
Yeah, I have talks. I've actually had talks because growing up, my family didn't communicate with me about changes in life, physical changes, dating. And unfortunately, I realized it became systemic in our community that our parents don't really equip us with life choices. Only thing they equip us with is to work. And, you deal with other genres, you start traveling as a grown individual, and you realize, you go overseas or a different country, they teach them how to make money for themselves and be self-independent, to work for themselves and have people work for them. So mindset through generations have changed, but I'm saying that to say that I wasn't equipped from my parents at an early age. So that lack of knowledge and having to make those slips and falls, because Lord, no, I broke my leg a couple times. I take time to speak to my daughters as age appropriate as a conversation can be, about what's going to transpire with them physically, mentally, emotionally, and how life is going to be. Give them key factors of life, whether it be dating, man. Like me and my daughter, my 15-year-old. I told her when she's 28 and she's able to date.
She got a boyfriend right now, honey.
Because he would be in the trunk somewhere, but
it doesn't
count.
Him
like that way. I'd be like, one of my best homies, Pat. He was like, "Hey, I put him in the trunk while distracted." But
do what you got to do, Daddy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I have those conversations with them that so they can be equipped. And as the ages go up, I have different conversations that I feel are appropriate at that level. So it's like a different level is introduced at a different age, and I try to equip them for life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If I may, I'm not a parent either, but being the son of a parent, I feel like we all kind of understand what it's like to be a parent because you're starting to see your parents as a human, right? The older you get, you're like, oh, I see all this stuff. And to kind of parlay off what you both said, but saying different things, but kind of maybe going to the same space is like, regardless, your intention can always be there. You can always try to stop someone from breaking their leg. You can be as open and honest and transparent about how you're going to get hurt and all that stuff. But life still has to happen, and it's going to happen. So, but that's terrifying for a parent to think, right? Because it's terrifying me to think about that for my
Me
mom,
too.
you know, essentially.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, you know what? It's beautiful when you have the intention of giving them their best tool belt that you can give them, even if they're going to think like, God, this is a really ugly tool belt and this actually doesn't really fit me. You know, like it's too big or it's too small. That tool I'll never use, or I actually needed that tool. But that's just how life is. And if you have, like you said, you're having with your children honest conversations, especially age appropriately, it just makes navigating a little bit easier because then it allows them the space to just move authentically. You're saying, here you go. This is the knowledge I can give you. And so now you're a whole different person. And like, let's see where that goes. But I at least give you what I can. I wish that was kind of the way that I was treated from like that way, as opposed to just the lack of, you know what I mean? I don't, you know what I'm trying to say.
The box that our parents believed we were supposed to be in almost. It felt like a box. Yeah. And they were doing the right thing. They were doing what they thought.
They were doing their best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And growing up, I realized a lot of people are not equipped to handle things because they never even had a conversation to know they need to be equipped for to be able to handle it.
And as a father, people.
Yes. And as a father, I never want to put my daughters to be in a situation where I could have just said something and they would have had an understanding. And that one little thing was like, my daddy told me to do this. If I was here or this situation happened, they already have a reference to address the situation. If I didn't give them that reference, I failed as a man and a father.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it sounds like yes. That's also a lot of pressure for you as a human being.
It's a lot of pressure.
I hear you. I hear you, but that sounds like a lot of pressure. But I'm not in your shoes, so that's probably fitting appropriately the pressure you need to make sure that you're performing at your highest capability of what you desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
really sounds like a balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like the balance. Like he's been saying balance.
All of it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for sure.
So none of y'all have any kids?
I don't have no kids, not yet.
No.
I'm somebody's mama.
She said that like, I'm ready though, but you know, I'm find the right one.
I've been a mom.
She drinks fertility tea and she ain't getting no dick. Like but she be manifesting this kid like she's trying to be the Immaculate Virgin Mary. Like she is no joke over there.
Okay.
The Virgin Mary over there.
Okay, so I'm not a virgin.
Drinking that tea to like try to get one without getting it.
Like,
I'm selective. Okay.
Very selective.
You know what? And I'm going to, since you want to put it out there, I'm going to be very honest. I live for the life that I want. I'm a wife, so I act like one now. My husband is not going to have to worry about walking into a room and wondering if all these men smash, who my homeboy, what they had, what they did. No, I don't function like that. I don't flow like that. I don't believe in that. And it makes it challenging because you know, the phone don't ring as much, but that's just not the energy that I want to entertain. You know, I've had my fun, I've done things, I've been engaged, so I've had experiences, but I'm just not, I don't really find that much excitement in dating a bunch of dudes. Like, y'all cool, but you're not that cool. I just want mine. Like, it's not, dating around, it's just not, and it's not like I can't get dates. Like, come on, you know. But
like,
I just
look at this. Of course I can get dates. She's like, and of course you can because all this is nice. So
inside and out.
It's inside and out. And that's good to know your value. Step in with your value known and make it known.
100%.
And it's not easy. It's not, trust me, like I don't want to sleep alone every night, but we're not also going to be, cycling. So yes, I'm gonna drink my fertility tea so that way when I'm ready and it all happens.
She's a manifester.
A master manifester.
What does that taste like? Oh, please
Yeah,
do.
what does it taste like?
It tastes like babies on the way. No, I'm just playing. Life is good. I had that thought earlier today because Gus and I have been friends since high school. So he knows me. And sometimes I go through my struggles with things, but today I definitely thought I'm on the right track. This is life. And as in a human experience, it's hella funky, so much stuff be going on. But at the end of the day, mine has been perfect for me. So sometimes it takes a little work. Sometimes it's easier than others, but I trust it. You know what I'm saying? It's not what I thought it was going to be, but there is a larger part of me that just trusts the process because in all this, being raised the way I was raised and doing things the way I like to do it and getting to where I'm at now, I just have to believe there's something to it, even if I can't see it. And along the way, I'm getting better. So even we talk about it with this show, watching it and being able to discuss and understand and talk about ourselves and learn and grow, I'm cool with all of that. Because by the time I get to where I want to be, and I'm going to have to grow with that man as well, at least I feel like we'll be able to have the conversations and understanding that's needed to have adults. We've been sold this thing, and I see it online. Maybe guys don't as much, but this is the first time I'm going to say it online. I'm going to be 40 in June.
What?
And so, and so it's I'm telling you online, they will make you feel ancient, you are. And I'm thinking sweetie, I've lived a bomb ass life and I'm just getting started. You're not about to make me feel like I'm old. Because I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And it's was I?
Make you feel that way anyway, right?
Yeah, nobody can make right. But it's 10 years ago. Was I ready? I mean, I was ready. I'm always ready for the commitment side of things. But for what I really want, maybe what I was asking for, divine knew that it was just going to take a little bit more time. And as we all sit here in our late 30s, early 40s, or whatever it is, same with the show, what we have learned about ourselves and life, I really feel like we're there now because a lot of people I know, they're getting divorced right now. I know a lot of a divorce going on and I hate that for them, but it's maybe now is a better time to really start to consider, all right, life partner. I'm 38, you know what I'm saying? Let life happen a little bit. We'd be rushing and I just, I'm cool with the process. I feel like I just talked for 20 minutes straight.
No, we're going to take 5 minutes.
All right. Hey, what's up, Brittany? Got American Shade in the building.
Hey. Oh, I'm scared with that name. Shit.
No, she's amazing. An amazing journalist. I've been on her show a couple of times. So thanks for popping in, girl. Hey.
Thanks for coming.
Black
Brittany.
Don't Crack. Give it to me, girl.
Right.
Give it to me. Because I don't got, I don't cover in makeup. We good. I try to be,
It's so funny because when you were talking about you want to see, you don't want to see them up, literally that's the way that we talk on FaceTime. She is we don't. It's so interesting to think God, people do that all the time. It's just it's foreign to us, right?
What, rush to put makeup on?
Yeah, and try to look all perfect and glamorized for a FaceTime. I guess I get that though, because I've experienced that too. I've encountered it, not just myself, but somebody else being I'm not ready to be FaceTime. We all have our shit, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm going to do more of it, but I would like to encourage women. That's why I think eventually I'm going to have to share my age online because I'll let people think whatever they want to think. Nobody thinks I'm 39, but
not a day over 28.
I think
right.
You just got 8 more points. Sorry.
8 more points.
8 more points.
That mean I have points. I didn't even know about how many points I got.
I mean, I can't tell you the tally, but that was 8 more. But yeah, because I think that the beauty industry is also a huge trick. For me, I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to eat the right foods. I'm going to sweat. I'm going to work out. These are the things that make me feel beautiful. When I get out of bed, I want to be able to stand nothing in the mirror and be like, girl, and that's how I roll. I don't want to feel like I have to do anything, but that's for me. Yeah. So
That's true.
And I lived in Hollywood. So this was also something that was like, you know, you go out with friends and the ones that are the most like Kim Kardashian out, that's who gets the attention, and you enjoy your night, but that doesn't, I got to keep it true to myself. And I think all women should. We're being really duped by the beauty industry right now. And it's insane.
They're trying to tell people how to look.
It's insane. And that's why it's part of the reason why when we talk about this perfectionism, everybody's worried about is happening.
You know, one thing I did talk to my oldest daughter about because it bothered me was a lot of, especially coming with their hair. I saw a lot of colorism with regards to natural hair in the workplace with a lot of my coworkers. And I thought it was just crazy to me. Like, you know, you had an issue with women wearing braids to a sales job or wearing natural hair out and stuff like that. And that's a conversation that I have with them because they all have natural hair. And like, you don't have to look like the masses to be who you are. That's one thing that has been a struggle to distill with my youngest. You know, she comes home and is like, Daddy, you know, she really has, she struggled with the color at her age.
With the color of her hair? Like, what do you
Yes,
mean?
like color. Like she went to school and she'd be like, Daddy, is brown bad or stuff like that? We'll have those conversations as well, which really bothers me because y'all asked me about fatherhood, and that's just one thing that I think addressing with fatherhood as a father such as myself, a minority, I've had to struggle with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate that.
Yeah.
Because it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
To date,
reality check.
Right. I've never worn my real hair in corporate. It doesn't feel comfortable.
Really?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't always work corporate. But when I do,
yeah, I've heard that.
I go in there with that straight wig on and just give these white people what they need. Let's just keep it real.
Look, see, I like that.
They ready.
See, I was trying to take the political route to beat around it, but yeah.
I got you. Like, it's just, it feels like it doesn't feel, and that's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just feels, I don't know. Maybe there's something in the air about it.
Have you felt like, because this is my daughters, have you felt like when you went to these jobs, they looked at you differently if you tried to wear your real hair or your natural hair?
I genuinely have just never been comfortable for some reason.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought, I've never done it.
Don't even know why. I just don't.
I just haven't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm always actually telling her to wear her natural hair.
I know
you. I'm always on it. Like,
mm-hmm.
She had auditioned for something, and I was like, "Wear your natural hair. Like,
okay.
Let them see you. You know." And then when she obviously she's gorgeous. She's been a model. Like, she's beautiful anyway she comes. But when she has that natural hair, there's just this extra little pop of Jaimi that no one else sees that I know. That's why I love when she has her natural hair. You know what I mean?
Natural hair.
Yeah.
I'm team natural hair. Do it.
Yeah. See, I like him.
We agree. That's two against one. Two against one. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love my natural hair. I'll wear it, but so it's a lot of work. No excuse, and I love it. But you're right. Like, we probably should have more conversations celebrating it. And to be honest, I don't know everything about the answer except this is all such an inside job. The only thing I can really like focus on is me and how I feel and how I want to show of it. Because I don't know if we're going to be able to get the country to buy into natural hair. We don't need another stupid movement or a march about
that. It's just
it's not because it's not
doing it for you. And
correct.
The more people use that approach, and
yeah,
fathers have that conversation with their kids and mothers have that conversation with their kids, you're encouraging them then just to do that just because they're being themselves without having to be a movement. And then when you're not trying to push energy into play, it will come naturally because people are just grounded in that authenticity.
Yes. And that's what's going to save you every time.
100%.
Your authenticity is, I'm a military brat. I moved every 2 or 3 years and people would always ask me like, oh, how do you make friends? I got to be confident in what else is there?
You seem very social.
Yeah. Like, but what else is there? What other choice as a human in this planet right now? What other choice do I have?
You seem like when you was a kid, you was the girl riding bikes with the guys outside trying to tell them what to do. Like, look, boom, we're not going to do that. We're doing this.
You know her so
and the guy's looking like, I guess we're doing this.
That's where we're going. And then when we get there, you
Before
can
the
race
boys
me because
breaking
I'm
the
faster
rules.
than you too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got long legs. I'll beat you in a race too when we get there.
Beat what? They be
Don't play
like,
with me.
where is she?
Yeah, you back there. Don't worry. We'll get our bikes and head out again in a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Najee wants to ask a question.
Yes,
We
go
were going to
for
get
it,
to
guys.
this, of course. But
Yes.
Najee wants to know, what was your best experience from the show?
As in like a takeaway or just being on the show and I had a good experience?
Either. I mean, I was
Just
going to ask you what your takeaway, like your best, like the thing you love the most that you took away from this, like how is that impacting your life now? Like what was the thing that the specific thing that attributed to like the shift of where you are in this moment? That's more specifically, I guess, how I was going to ask it, but maybe Najee just meant in general, like what was the most fun or which scene? I don't know. Najee,
from being on it.
From being on it.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. It was so many ups and downs in the show. I think the most fun I had was probably a group date that y'all didn't see.
It's always
It
like
was
that.
it was me, Sabrina, Tina, Eric, and Wiley and Dakia. We was at a batting cage. We was actually going to go somewhere else. We was going to go to Pro Social. We didn't. Don't know. We sat in the car for like 8 hours. Didn't happen. So we ended up going to the batting cage, and this is one of the nights that, like I said, we had Sabrina, Dakia, and Tina. This first time I ever met Tina, and this was her introduction to me and Eric. But for some reason I didn't show it, which it is. But I had a good time. I really vibed with everybody. They gave us a big platter of Chick-fil-A, so there was food there. You know, the food. You know, we had a good opportunity to do the back page. It was interactive. I felt like a lot of the dates were food, sitting down at restaurants. By the time the show was over with, my stomach was messed up for days.
Right.
Like we ate out so much.
Dang.
Like I was like, what is going on? Not in the bubble gut stat type way, but like indigestion and heartburn or whatever. I don't even know what heartburn is, but I'm quite sure that's what I had. But it just, I like to do active stuff, like interactive stuff. And that was the first time we actually did interactive stuff. Sabrina was there, great date. The kid was there, wonderful time. Tina was there, first time meeting her. Got the opportunity to get a vibe. Eric was there. Wiley was there. We was all doing our thing, and I think it was a good time. As for what I took away from the show, it's not until after the show that I got my takeaway and realized that you got to have tough skin. And what does it matter with people that can't affect your life directly? I think, you get a lot of people watch this show to watch it just to not like you, just to say negative things, just to hate you for no reason, don't even know you, or understand like I might have said something, but I might not have said it in that moment. I might not even said it at all in that episode. But what you get is these are characters being made.
Yes.
And I didn't understand that till later on. It's not you. These are characters being made. But people, if you be authentic, I think people can see through what is put out there about you and see at least a little bit of you if you just be authentic with it. So stop caring what people say and be authentic to yourself, and people can see through the book.
Yeah. You know
So
what?
good.
Like you just said, because we saw you and other people obviously saw a different version, and that's just how life is. And now it's being the perfectionist that I'm and being in the entertainment industry, I like to blame that, but that's just my own shit, I'm sure. But like, it's hard to accept that. Not everyone's gonna like you, I always reference it off of like in the industry, people like, these celebrities that nothing about personally, but everybody loves them, right? So it's always like a business thing for me. And it's like, so I was always like, but everyone needs to love me or else I'm not, do you hear what I'm saying? And that's why we don't know about these people. And that's why when we see these things like that happened at the Oscars with Will and stuff, and we know in the industry who these people really are, but nobody else does. And then it's all this huge situation. And at the end of the day, not everyone's going to like you. And you just really have to do your best of putting your best foot forward. And not everyone's going to even do their best to put the best foot forward because they're not intentionally doing that. And that's just their path. I can't do anything but that. It is what it is. I'm going to always try to do my best. And it's not going to always be its best. But that's how I am. That's who I am, right? So just even it's so important for us to do exactly what you said. Just hear, if you don't need to hear, just water off a duck's back, or else it's toxic. It's not healthy.
And then, also as we grow, I'm sure it's easier to realize that not everybody likes themselves.
Yeah,
So you
That's
not
true.
liking me is not my problem.
100%.
Do you like you?
Yes. Obviously, you don't, because we see they're
Because who
usually
has
pointing
time?
more. Well, how many more are pointing back at me, right? One's up,
Hmm.
they're
Yeah.
just indifferent. But I have these other three coming right at me as I point at you. That was the hardest lesson for me. All the hateration or all the ill feelings I had towards somebody else, when you realize that's your own shit,
Yep.
you're like,
Yeah.
fuck. And that's a lot to take on. That's a lot to sort through. That's, if you don't get therapy, read the right books, do the modalities, that can cause you to end your life, right? And the fact that people do that so easily to people online, it's I get it. They don't have the strength to be better. If I'm being asshole, but I'm being
Correct.
quite upfront, that's the truth. And I shouldn't have to deal with your shit, right?
And you don't have to.
And we don't have to. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. We have a question here. So Najee says, how is your relationship with the men off the show? Do you guys keep in contact and hang out?
Yeah. So as it relates to the show, I'm sorry, I got a call. But the guy, as it relates to the show and the guys on the show, I think we all get along well, genuinely. Like we all hang out. I built a brotherhood with a lot of those guys. A lot of them I didn't even really get to know or get to peel behind the layers until after the show. Clifton was one of the guys that I initially met, and we gravitated as friends first, and then everybody else just kind of fell suit along, such as Paul and Donovan, and then it's trickled since then. I've become friends with, all the guys in the cast.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
that's
really
good.
admirable how you and Dante were able to handle the situation.
Wait, Demetrius?
Like, it was Demetrius. I'm sorry, I was thinking last season.
That's okay. Last season. It's all good. I got you.
You and Demetrius were able to handle the Sabrina situation like adults, like men, essentially, right?
Yeah. No, we were. So the thing about the me and Demetrius thing, unfortunately, the conversation that we had at the thing, the lake house. So I went over there and had a conversation with him. I felt like we needed to talk. But honestly, it's because I saw myself in him. Like I saw who I was maybe the beginning, and I felt like he needed somebody, to have a conversation with him because he wasn't, even though you could never see it on the show, I was following my gut. I feel like he wasn't following his. And
we see that it's his episode.
Clearly, crystal
gut,
clear.
Yeah. So unfortunately, they changed what I said around because I didn't say a lot of that. My conversation was purely related to him and how he felt and, getting an understanding of what's going on with him. And you realize, he's a very intentional person. He knows exactly what he wants. I've got to know him since the show. And I never knew what type of person he was until after the show and realizing that he just knows what he wants. The first thing, I give it to him. I've had conversation with him. He's like, Tori, and we just talking casually. He's like, ain't nothing in these streets, man. Just find me something good. I'm good, bro. Like, man, I'm not even trying to waste time. And I think where it comes to him, I can't speak on him and how he feels because he's a grown man and an individual.
Yeah.
I just feel like, unfortunately, what you didn't see was there was a conversation about guts, like follow your gut. If you feel that way, I've been there. I understand it. You got to do what it. Anything else said, I didn't pretty much say it at all. Just know that. At least I didn't say it at that moment.
Good to know.
But,
Little cut and paste.
yeah, cut and paste. But, it was about him because I know where I've been. I think since that moment, we kind of just like, hey, brother, like, some of the things that we thought wasn't real, wasn't true because, it was like a divide and conquer. The guys never talk, then what do they know?
Yeah.
if we never have a conversation with each other, how do we know we're getting, if somebody's saying the same thing to us or feeding us the same thing, or, you know, and I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm stay politically correct, but respectfully, just never know.
I'm going to be the asshole right now and say, with dealing with someone like Sabrina in the circumstance, I think that was necessary for you guys to actually have conversations. Because if you're her friend, I'm not talking shit on Sabrina. She triggers me because she, to me, is like a guy that I dated, and like the way that she plays, you know, I would have loved to have other guys that we could have just been like, because then I wouldn't have fell into the trap so hard, essentially. I'm not trying to talk shit on Sabrina in front of you. I'm just saying, like, she just, beneficial for you guys to have conversations about it from watching it, at least for my point.
Yeah, we didn't have any conversations afterwards, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you may have gotten that text message too, or oh, that was said too,
Right.
I'm not her. I can't speak for her either. I don't know what her intentions was, so I won't say anything about that. It just, I really thought towards the end that maybe, they were going to make something of the situation from what I saw towards the end. And
that Demetrius and Sabrina were going to make something of their situation?
Yeah. The demeanor that I got at the beach house, once, I was no longer equation. I wasn't sure what, her and Donovan were going. I just thought that, I would be hearing love bell stories at the end from her demeanor towards him at that point. So, those are things you don't see as well, and not as in regards to him, but why y'all might be feeling like he's a little bit more shocked. You don't see the intentions and the intenseness. But again, I wasn't there, so I can only see what the camera showed me now.
Right.
I've had conversations with him, and I had conversations with her. I can't speak for grown people, but I can only see what the cameras were shown and what I saw. And I would have thought they would have ended up together.
It's so interesting. It's to me because us seeing what the camera is showing us intentionally, right? We get it. It's a reality show. You guys are cast. They cast accordingly to fill the things. Then you have to fill the narrative to make sure that the show is cohesive. Yes, things get produced when there are more seasons. The first, second, third. I'm sure their intention was, let's have people find love. But then things start to happen and the machine takes over. I understand all that. So for me, just being able to watch what I'm watching, it was been so clear from the beginning to me how Sabrina has been moving. So I'm not surprised by any of this. I've seen the way she's been avoiding. I see how she's been bobbing and weaving, manipulating the situation for herself, but not realizing how she's affecting other people. It's been really clear. And maybe that's subjective as to what you're saying, is because that's the narrative that's being shown through production, if that makes sense. But if we're going to talk about this episode for just a second, it felt like it was a validation that I needed. It was like, of course she's not going to end up with him. She's not ready for these people. She doesn't want this. So anyway, I wasn't shocked at all. I was very like,
yeah, me neither. And I hate to say it because I have to make like the oddest confession, but after last episode and we got off our show, I was like, oh my God, I act like Sabrina when I'm not interested in a guy.
Right.
I'm very politically correct. I can tell you what I'm thinking. I can, verbalize all these things. And it's always going to, I'll give you, we can do the hugs and the moment and this and that, but it's never going to be, I don't know. Oh, and Tori, if you have to go, because I know we hit our hour.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about this show, but like
we got to still talk about the show. So
we'll talk. We'll talk about the episode,
yeah.
But we had to get to you first. And I guess before you go, you kind of spoke to this, but Najee said, if you can speak about it, do you think how production presented you to us was true to who you were at the time of filming or not?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think you got my intentions came through, but who I was as a character and individual didn't. There was so many things that was cut and took out of context that it was disturbing for me for a while. That affected me emotionally and mentally because you didn't show the whole context of it. I think the substance of my dates weren't shown. Like a lot of my dates, I brought gifts or either poetry or gotten to who I was, you would have never seen that. I
Mm.
think, unfortunately, I feel like the powers that be didn't feel like our audience understood would have been okay with a substance. I think it was
100%. That's what
yeah,
he's saying.
The
it was
shame.
to me, I didn't understand it, and it affected me because what happened to the poetry I did, heartfelt conversations, or like um, one of the biggest dates that bothered me was even though I'm bringing it up, is the Precious Date. I felt like certain people fed into the narrative that they wanted to make themselves look better, but like that whole night. We had conversation about her transgender nephew. She told me how would I be feeling if I dated with somebody with a transgender nephew. That night I did poetry. We had sequential conversation of substance that and then I was the parts they showed were I was being asked questions, but the questions were being knocked out. In the context of the questions, me answering, and all you saw was a tangent. That bothered me because
Yeah.
you didn't see the context of that somebody was literally asking me stuff and I'm answering. Like I even saw where it was like, "Whoa, shot!" No, that I ordered that shot before she sat down, or when she first sat down. Like, why would y'all like? To me, it's like, why would you put it in there? Why would you even do that? Like, why? Like, I ordered that like before somebody sat down, but you made it seem like I'm interrupting a conversation, and I think that a lot of things got misconstrued. But yeah, it just when you see stuff that's not real, and I get it, but sometimes I figure out I had to think about like why though. I think people my age would love to see substance, a conversation that's very intellectually stimulating.
Yeah.
So why couldn't we get that part? Or maybe damn, Tori do poetry like somebody asked me to do because she asked me to do a poem that night. I freestyled off the dome. Like why wasn't that show the entertainment side or the person that my personality is that I love the wordplay. I talked about art, how I like to paint, and I love artists, black art, things that are in our community to help or mental health awareness. Why are those conversations when we had that put in too? Because as it related to what she was telling me about her life, where was all that? Did we really have to listen to it? Did we have to listen to this garbage?
Yeah, they wanted you to be the victim. They wanted you to be the victim. That's you showing all of that, the beauty of your essence wouldn't have made sense to the way they were pushing the storyline. So they can't put that in there. So thank you for sharing the fact of all those things that that they didn't show and put in there, because that's
awesome.
And
I guess you are right. It didn't fit a narrative, and don't get me wrong. I think one thing I did say that the production is because I peeped things out early didn't mean I didn't care. It's just I chose to follow my gut.
Yes, absolutely.
As you should.
And that is no shade to anybody because you got to set your own standards of what you're willing to accept when you're dealing with people. Some people are willing to accept more. I've been that guy that accepted more until I realized, you are devaluing yourself. You're coming off the top shelf and putting yourself at the bottom, and you're not going to be happy.
Yeah, it don't taste good down there. I don't taste good down there. Nothing tastes good down
there. Right. And we've been a little disappointed with that. And I know that the people that we chat with and people that watch the show, and I just watch comments and stuff. I'm a little disappointed in Will Packer because he had this great interview with Oprah. Yeah, at the beginning of the year about how he really wanted to show, especially in the Black community, dating and this and that and the other. And you're right. I don't think we're getting that on the level that we deserve it. And it's doing a disservice to the show. So they're dropping the ball there because that's actually what people want to see. We're tired. We've already seen, we done been through Girls Gone Wild, Real World, Everybody, did it. We've already seen the chaos. The Oscars, y'all done put grown 40, 30, 40 people on, and we're still just trying to be shots and did it. Like, no, I want to see the poetry and the intention. So I don't want to ramble because Tori, I don't know if you have to go, but we can, because we can keep going, but you got to go. So
hold on 1 second. Let me check something. 1 moment.
But yeah, so while he checks, but I just think that the majority of us.
right?
what?
It's not like they're not listening to the audience like that
No,
we
they're
are,
in
which
the
then we want substance. It's like
correct.
you're completely neglecting a real audience out there just to still
Correct.
feed one other audience. Like we exist. And that it scares me if that's really the thought process, because
Right.
to deny the fact that us kind of people exist and we're just going to keep feeding this other thing, where is that taking us? That's scary.
And that's
You
why I
know?
like our show, and why a lot of other people say they like our show, Gus, is because we do have the opportunity to talk about things on a deeper level, where we're actually inviting in the stuff that we want to hear, the stuff that we're not seeing on the screen, but we know is
It's
happening
happening.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I have an
Najee, I know
idea for
you.
a show, actually, like a name. I'm not going to
Do
say
you
it
want
on
to
here,
share?
but I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, do you want to
Yeah.
care to share?
No, because I don't want someone to steal it. But yeah.
Yeah, Jessica says they need to change the format of the show. It's becoming too much a game and making it till the end. I completely agree, and that doesn't really work for
Yeah,
me.
it's not a game
That's
show. This isn't. It's not. It wasn't supposed to be that, but that's what they're turning it. 100%. 100%.
correct.
We watch that
So
with every
it's just,
show.
yeah,
RuPaul's Drag Race is more produced than it's ever been before. That's, but like I get it. They do that for all of it. I mean, they're on their 14th season. They kind of have to. Well, that's just regular season. But, anyways, let's talk about this. Yeah, first.
right.
Tori
We
was,
enjoyed having Tori. I think he was checking something and bounced out, and that's okay. Definitely so happy to have had him on. He shared so much stuff. It was nice to get to expound on the character that we knew he was in the show, but for him to do so in his own words,
yeah,
super
we got
fun,
to see him,
super,
hear him,
yeah.
and you can tell that's what he wanted. He was like, you can tell he's hurt by that he didn't get like an authentic representation of who he really is. Like people didn't get to really see him, and I would be hurt by that too. I'm
Yeah.
also really happy that you and I hope he knows that people still saw him after this, right? Even though they
Absolutely.
didn't portray him the way he wanted, we still saw him. People still see him and saw him. Some people didn't. They won't. We said that. It is what it is. But we didn't need to know even about everything he just told us about the black art and the excellent everything that he's contributed in poetry and all those things to know like he's that type of person anyway, right? So the show might have shafted him a little bit, but for the people who have their eyes open,
Who can see?
you can't not see him. So
You can't not see him. I
yeah.
completely agree. And that is, the best way to say that.
Now we
And
get
like
to down to
Najee ain't
business.
never lies. Now we
All
get
right.
down to business. Because
girl, I mean,
Father Muckus was acting a fool through this whole show. And I just
oh
gotta
my
figure out where to
God.
begin. Like, oh my
I
God.
don't know how much battery I have on my phone, even when I charge it in my light, but we gonna get to this shit.
Right. I'm like, I'm gonna have to take a break in a second. But okay. So that was amazing. Thank you guys for being so amazing with our special guest. And I'm so glad that he was our first one because it just made sense. Even though Sabrina has always been here in comment and spirit.
Totally.
Sabrina,
Yeah,
OG Sabrina.
Right. OG Sabrina.
I changed my mind on Tori. He's not ready to date as I thought. He's ready to love.
Yay!
Hey.
And he
Love
deserves it.
Yeah. At home,
Yeah.
raising your girls, doing everything. Yes, I'm ready to speak on it too. Well, let's dive into this episode because okay. Those were questions for him. We covered all that. Okay, so first of all, we just going to get it out the way that Tina stood up Tommy. I don't know how you could ever stand up Tommy Miles. Like, I don't know how you could ever have the audacity in your soul to not show up if Tommy Miles asks you to show up.
I mean, he always looks so fit and right. Like, he probably smells good. Like, he's making time in his schedule to do something with you.
For you, boo. And I get if you don't want to be on the show, but
do you think that was production? Do you think he really
could have been production?
Because that just came in right now. I'm like, was that just drama from production intentionally?
Maybe, baby.
It could be.
Maybe,
just
baby.
to give her more of the villain aspect and make her look really bad. Look, we get it. We heard it from her ex. She runs away from things when she doesn't want to deal with it. She's avoidant, essentially, right? And we've heard through on the sources on here and blah, blah, blah. It's like, she felt like Tori, it was a setup. It was not what she signed up for, and she wasn't going to commit to it, essentially. And I respect her choices. Really simple.
Me too.
I say it again.
With Tina.
She's beautiful. You can tell she is inside and out. She's raising a kid. She's working. I think she's handled herself just fine, regardless of what anyone else wants to think. I give her her flowers because she deserves them.
This is the real
I don't give
dating
my
world.
flowers to Pio, who keeps acting like there was still something there with her this whole time. Could be production too, but just still like she didn't even come. Like, but her like still lusting and infatuated over her because we know he ain't into Takia. Like he ain't into any of these people. Are any of you buying anything he's selling? Because I'm not. Still.
Raise your hand in the chat if you're buying what PL has to sell.
Still.
Let's look in the comments and raise your hand on that, because he specifically said, and I wrote this down, oh, I could have nurtured other connections.
No. Stop trying to say the right things. Because he's smart at that. He's so good at that, saying the right things. Can we just be real?
What does that have to do with anything anyways? Because in real life dating, if I fool with you, I put my toe in the water, we talk, and then we're over it if it don't work. So I'm over, like, what you mean you wasted your time? So that means, are you really ready to love?
When his brother, no, he's not. When his brother was like, oh, Takia, like, she was great, but oh yeah, it was a little surface. What do you expect to be? There's no connection there. There's no depth between them. And that right there was the all-telling situation. I don't think production probably should put that line for someone like me to hear. Because I was like, that's exactly the point. There's nothing here. You're doing this just for the thing. And it's like, blah, duh. Come on now.
Come on. Like, really, come on, get with it. Well, Jessica says she's immature and not ready to love. She could have stood in her truth and told Tommy, my man ain't here. And maybe she did, maybe she didn't. You know, right. I guess we'll never know. Because with talking to Tori, we see that we really didn't see everything that was to be seen in truth and honor.
You know, I completely agree with you, Jessica. Like, I mean, because I'm in that space where it'd be easy for me to do that right now, right? I'd be like, Tommy.
Y'all gotta give me a quick pause. Sorry.
Let's talk, Tommy. We're not, this isn't working for me. There's nobody here. This isn't going to happen. I'm going to politely take myself out. But we don't know what people are going through, right? Like, and I think we do that a lot when we talk about these situations all the time online and we give our opinions. Like, it's so easy for us to say we should have acted or they should have acted like that. And we can still have those feelings, but we don't know what the fuck's going on in these people's lives. You know, we don't know, but yeah. Najee said, as I said last week when Gus was going back and forth with me, but Tina was wrong. A text or email could suffice. When an effort is made, but you saw that handed disrespectfully both to yours. We don't know though. We don't know if there was an email. We don't, I mean, if we could find that out, that'd be great, right? Because we can slap her on her hand and be like, wrong, bad girl, for sure. But we don't know that. We don't, the way that production is going to push the narrative, they wouldn't tell you if she actually did file gracefully or told them that she didn't want to show up and they just were like, you still got to do it. You just heard from Tori. He was like, they didn't narrate me correctly. They're going to do what they need to do for the purpose of the show. So we can feel our feelings pretending like we know it from their perspective, 100%, right? If we're going to buy the truth that they're feeding us, yeah, shame on her. But
Pero
like,
I don't know. Like, Jessica says, when he said scheduling was to blame for getting to know Dakia, what? Come again? I call BS on foul play.
Girl.
It's just too much. That's what I'm saying. And
so avoidant. And it's scary. It's scary.
True, we don't, but that's us giving the benefit of the doubt. Yes. And that's all we can do because, again, we don't have all the details, but
yeah, right. That's all we're actually capable of giving is the benefit of the doubt. We still have opinions, but that's all we can really give is the benefit of the doubt. We don't know shit. We don't know.
Yeah, we only know what we see. And I do agree. I would have loved for her to be more communicative because she did sign up for the show. Think about the thousands of people who signed up and didn't get on here, who might have been a little more ready than her, but, you know, and missed out because the slot was taken. So just honor your stuff like a regular job, but we're not mad at you for chucking the deuces.
Well, I don't see, even just me, like, shit's one more day for me to be in front of the camera. I love the camera. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that thing. I'm going to look real cute and put myself on camera and have a real conversation and show people what's going on in my life. Right. Somebody might need to hear that. Somebody may need to hear, like, I can't commit to this right now. I thought I was ready. I'm not. Or there's nobody here for me. And I realized that because I am ready. Or my kid's sick and I got to take, like, let me see that experience that's happening. Isn't that the whole point of the show? Right.
Correct.
So
especially with it being reality TV and all, right?
Right, reality.
Right. And yeah, Jessica said the men actually and the women, I'll just throw that in there, were annoyed by Tina. Pio and Donovan were over the way she handled the process towards the end. Some show more respect. And I get it because they're all in this commitment. It's almost like a job, a family, a this, a that. But if we're keeping it real and calling this Ready to Love and trying to present an authentic dating experience, then I guess this is just what it looks like.
And
You don't
also,
always get the communication. Yeah.
remember too, though, if you're annoyed at somebody for something, it's because you're doing it. So take this into perspective. They could be annoyed that they have to show up and they don't want to, and they still are. You know what I mean? So there's what? What happened? What?
No, I think you're calling it out.
Oh shit. Oh man, my bad.
I just saw mirrors. I think it's
You know what
why
I mean?
you blaming her when it's you.
You.
It's you.
Possibly. Who knows?
We talked about that.
Shit, this life's bad. We did talk about that.
Well, I hope
Okay.
Tina is happily at home raising her 2-year-old baby.
Yeah. Hopefully she's watched this and learned and is growing and exactly where she's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't really, yeah. So Clifton, did we not get all the feels with Clifton's Uncle Maurice, who had amazing questions, by the way, and cousin Diane?
He brought the right people on.
He brought the right people on.
He was like, these are the people I need to bring. And he was right.
So good. That whole dinner and interaction gives me the vibes of what I want to see on this show, why I watched this show, what I'm looking for.
Why I watch it for the hope of it happening to me. To know that it exists and that it can be real.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish there was more of that on the show. That's the purpose of the show, not to show us the other shit. We see the other shit everywhere else.
Because I'd rather see more of Joy and Clifton's unfolding in conversations. If they could have even made that lunch conversation longer than just seeing a bunch of people like
bullshit
trying to BSing. Because for me, before we get there, Donovan and Carmen is BS, but we'll get to that in a minute. I like how Joy is always genuinely like to Clifton, thank you for being you. I believe that in her. I see that. I know he understands, receives, and loves that energy and feels that from her. And I know how it feels to just look at someone and be like, because especially while we're getting to know somebody, we don't know all of the checks we are crossing off on all of their boxes and why. And some of those boxes that are being checked are so tender and so deep and so just like, thank you for being you.
It's had an itch for so long and someone's finally itching it. It's like, thank you for getting that.
It's like
a muscle that's been knotted in your back that just has been avoided, and then someone comes and massages it out, and thank you. I really need.
You have no idea that this has been itching me for 25 years.
Mm-hmm. It's really. I really loved how. I love when you bring the right people around. And it like naturally shifts you into that better version of yourself that you need to be authentically, not putting on, authentically. Because those two people that Clifton brought, you could tell that Joy, through the questions they were asking, Joy was able to sit and be like authentic, and it inspired her to be that version that was necessary for them to hear, but also who she is. Does that make sense? As opposed to bringing in some guests that don't make any sense. And the way that she could then think and articulate it, because she was in that space of people who really needed to hear what she needed to say. Does that make sense?
Because it fit like family. That's why they're like, invite her out. That's why she's like, I could see myself at the cookout, because it was very cohesive because of that energy, the questions, and the invitation that everyone gave each other to be themselves, to be authentic, to show up. They didn't complain about it being too early. Clifton wasn't, even in Clifton's discomfort, he's like, I like her so much. Like, this is uncomfortable for me, but here's my uncle and here's my cousin. Like, this is how you get, come on.
He looks so in love. It's so sweet. Sorry, I didn't cut you off. I saw his eyes when you were saying it, and I was like, oh, he's like, he stares at her. Oh, I've had someone stare like at me once, genuinely, I think. Once.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be seen like that.
To be seen is
It's a special thing this
really,
day and age. It's really special in
yes,
this day and age to be seen because, like you said, that standard of perfection is such a normal. It's like normal, quote unquote, now. So when somebody sees you for all that you are, because they're willing to and they want to, and you actually let
because they're
them,
willing to, they want to,
and you
and
let
you let
them,
them.
when those three components are put together, that's what we're witnessing with those two, and it's inspiring for people like us, right? It's really inspiring because I know more than lately that I'm like, fuck, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm cool. I'm good being single. I'm good. But if that exists and watching them, that's why we watch the shows. We talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I don't need to
All
claim
right.
anything. I'm just gonna keep staying present and just being here,
Mm-hmm.
showing up,
Yeah.
keep showing up.
No, you nailed it. Now, what did you think about her and her 6 months in Puerto Vallarta, and if she's going to continue living happy year for her career slash what he's doing? Da, da, da. How did you feel about the work-life balance and the great question that his uncle Maurice brought up?
Well, I think maybe why this is such a sensitive subject to me, or why it's such a beautiful relationship for me specifically to watch, is because I'm an artist like Joy. And I would like to find a man who understands that and nurtures that and accepts that and encourages me to keep doing what I've done my whole life. So when I watch her be put in this situation, that's me. I'm gonna have to go shoot a show for 6 months, or I would have had to go on tour when I was younger. Or
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
so for me as an artist, it's just a matter of fact. It's just
mm-hmm,
the way it is.
mm-hmm,
And I, especially when you watch this, you can see that it's a very foreign subject. It's not something that's understood by most. Um, so first and foremost, the fact that Clifton understands it, he's like, "Cool, I love you," which we knew from the jump. We knew from the jump, their very first conversation. They were like, "We don't want to just be in one place. We would like to be able to keep experiencing and tasting the world." That's why I said from the jump, when they hit that commonality, that was all they needed because she's an artist. So I think it was a great question for his uncle to ask because I think he knows Clifton really well, and he knows that Clifton could handle that and be willing to probably go visit. I just think he needed to hear how Joy felt about it. And like I
mm-hmm.
said, she was under the pressure and the right, like she was like becoming a diamond with the perfect pressure on each side of her to really just start to shine and say the right things and acknowledge the things that need to be acknowledged. I think they're gonna be fine. I think underneath all of it, she knows that she's not going to be an artist forever. And, you know, that day will come, but they're going to be living in these moments of where she's still fulfilling that need and that her being authentic, living authentically. And he's going to be there, I think, to support that. At least I'm going to cry but thinking about it right now because I hope that, because that's something that I dream of. Right. So I love it. In short, I think it's really inspiring.
Yeah, it's major and it's a big deal. And to be honest, I'm very much a fan of these types of perceived obstacles and moments because I don't think there's anything bad with getting to know somebody a little bit long distance. You can get really caught. I think physical is necessary. So this is not what I'm saying.
So
But
then
there's
you make
also
sure you see each
beauty.
other physically.
Yeah, yeah, oh,
Yeah. It's not
absolutely.
like
But
they're
there's
in prison. You know what I mean?
right. But
So
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. There can be such a healthy balance, like, and
Mm-hmm.
getting to know someone over the phone and FaceTime and having those deep conversations and all these things. And then the beauty and the eagerness and the like, I'm going to eat you up when you get here. Having that as well. And it's temporary because I don't know about Joy, but that Puerto Vallarta, if we're not getting that together, that job going after a while. We're going to, or Clifton is going to find something to do remotely and we're going to be able to, whatever
You're
it
gonna work it
is,
out.
correct.
Yeah.
So this is a temporary thing where she has to go in and out. And it does, I know that feeling of getting to know someone and feeling so into it and then having to go. But I also think those are the things that make it strong. And I think that they have enough to go ahead and continue to like water that plant and let the roots grow and let it get deep and stay in the thing, because this is not a deal breaker. And I understand the people who are like, I can't do long distance, but this is
That's
not what
you.
we're talking about here.
That's you
We're
though.
talking plans and growth.
Mm-hmm.
And when you kind of like what Tori was saying when he was here earlier, people want to give up so quick. But when we sit there, when we mold things out and work this thing out together, it gives us
Yeah.
an opportunity. How does he handle this? How does he handle this? Because I want to see from Clifton I think it's healthy for Clifton to have the challenge of not having her up underneath him all the time. Who are you as a man when you get your urges? Who are you as a man when your mind starts to wonder? How are you going to wrangle that in? How are you going to deal with, okay, babe, you haven't been touched in 3 weeks. What part of you is going to be able to, you're either going to get on the plane, but you're also going to be able to deal with yourself individually as a man, as a human, as a person, and start to overcome some of those obstacles that really shape you for long-term committed relationship. I know he's been married and he's had that, but I don't think it's never a bad time to continue to grow and ask ourselves questions. Exactly.
It could be the right fit for him, which
correct.
It's meant to be. You know, we tend to fit in each other's lives.
That's so funny. Najee said, how long before the little black book watches this interview and tries to psychoanalyze it? I mean, I bet you people watch her stuff. Little black book, they go in on the interviews too. I wouldn't be surprised. Jessica, yeah, Joy and Clifton see each other. They finish each other's sentences, for God's sakes. It's just, so it's something you don't give up on. Yes.
No, you don't. It's because
you don't give up on that.
Yeah, you don't.
If Clifton don't take his butt to Mexico and visit that woman, don't sabotage something because you're slightly inconvenienced.
I don't think
that right, Najee?
100%. You did that really good. I think 100% it. Like that ain't what's happening. Najee, spoiler alert, he's there right now in Mexico.
Jessica stays with the team.
Yep.
Hey.
I love Jessica.
It's such a sexy and romantic place.
They got that FaceTime. They sure, thank God. FaceTime makes a whole different world.
It does. There's room for all of this growth. And they're the one and only couple, obviously, that I have believed in and do believe in on this thing. So shout out to them. Shout out to the cookouts, the family cookouts to come. Yeah. And I think Clifton's met his match, and I can see it in his uncomfortability. Yeah, his comfortability and uncomfortability, that he knows what he needs to do as a man. No, like
to see a man face the uncomfortable part though is
he's doing it.
It's what I want to do as a man, and it's what I hope a man will do for me. You know, like
amen.
It's not uncomfortable and toxic levels. It's just like, oh shit.
Ooh, I gotta turn it up a notch. I gotta step up a little bit.
Oh, I'm more than capable. Oh, this actually probably suits me more than I even realized. Oh, I needed you to show that light within me because I'm actually stepping into me more authentically being like this. You know, like it's partnership, right?
Yeah. And good men want to grow. So these challenges, as frightening as they may be, they welcome them. They lean into them because they know what's on the other side of the growth. And that is sexy.
Yeah, it is. This hangover is not sexy, but yes, that is sexy.
Oh my God. Well, shoot, now that we talked about the meat and potatoes, like that was really the ready to love. Everybody else. Okay, so we got Donovan and Sabrina. What a mess of a conversation. It's, you know,
I don't understand.
What you don't understand? Talk to me.
I don't understand, like, because we know so much is happening, but like, I don't know what I mean. I don't want to keep calling Sabrina out. Like, how does she not? Everything she says. Oh, here we go.
I'm just being funny on the side.
Clifton posted a pic of him looking at a menu, looks like Mexico, and he said, "Hey Joy, I like this menu.
Me and you.
Oh.
They just from the beginning, they've been on that. That's funny.
Fucking dorks.
I love it.
But
yeah, this Donovan Sabrina thing, meh.
Well, just Sabrina in general. Like, just he didn't have to come in that hot, but obviously he came in that hot. And she just deflects and it's hard to watch her. I'm sorry, it's hard to watch her. And I'm like, I could be completely wrong about her. I could be completely wrong about her, but for me, it's hard to watch her because it's like, I don't know. What do you think? I have no words because I'm just annoyed.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, you know, when we had Tori on before he got off, I low key, I feel like I act like Sabrina when I'm not interested in a guy. And this is also why I don't really do well with that. Oh, let me just date and see. If I know I'm not in it, you're going to get Sabrina energy from me.
Because but you're not feeding. She's literally keeps changing her options and feeding them. Like, it's this whole
she's on the
show. Playbook.
she's on the show, right? So she's almost in like a dating jail. So she probably would have walked away from most of these guys long time ago.
Why not? Why
because
not be
she's still
authentic?
here. Well, now she's finally self-eliminating. And I don't want to compare myself to Sabrina because I don't like the way she moves and I don't really move like that. But I do see what she's doing. And I do see, I guess, some truth. And I can see how she thinks she's keeping it real because she is very much
keeping it
like,
real, though. I see how
she
she could see.
how she thinks she is, right? How she thinks she's keeping it. Yeah.
She's not. Does anybody else agree with that? Does the way she's handling is keeping it real?
That she thinks she's keeping it real.
Right.
Because I can see how she thinks she's keeping it real with keeping her options open, with calling things out and saying and just being very matter of fact. It's almost like a business. I feel like everything with her is like a business deal almost. Yeah. And you know, her calling him childish and all that, she's just triggering these guys, but she feels like she's triggering them because she's like, these men's ego are so fragile when a woman has options. And to me, I feel like there's a tiny bit of truth to that because I've seen men, and not all men, but men in action. It's like when a woman is interested, sometimes y'all want to play. But when you see somebody else in her space and she's indifferent and you got to chase and maneuver and do all this, it irritates you.
Yeah.
So you get either a Demetrius who is, to me, Demetrius is solely playing a game. He wants to be the one to come out of Ready to Love to be like, I bagged Sabrina. She picked me. To me, 100%. I see nothing but competition from Demetrius.
Yeah, we definitely felt that this whole time.
It just like
there's nothing genuine in it. Joy called it out. What are you here to do? You know what I mean?
And he doesn't see that. I don't think he even sees that. And Donovan is agitated because he probably met a player. I feel like Sabrina acts like Donovan does. Donovan, you mad?
You mad because you're seeing yourself.
You met your match, Donovan.
You met your match, yeah.
Because you're a player, Donovan. Even your mama was like, don't mess this one up. It was a real quick moment, but Donovan.
Well, to be fair, yeah, that's what happens. When you see yourself,
you don't like
triggered.
it.
No, it sucks. And then you can be courageous enough to actually be like, fuck, this don't work for me. Or you can just keep blaming the world and be a victim about it and keep repeating your patterns to be triggered over and over again by the same shit. Like, you know, Groundhog's Day.
Exactly. So Jessica says Sabrina, I think, has a side boo off the show. She acts like it.
Yeah, she
definitely
acts like it. She acts like she's just there for the TV. I understand her concerns, but she has no self-awareness and introspection.
No, she thinks she's doing the right thing. Yeah, Sabrina.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. She's just up in here, she's like, still, you know.
Like we said, she's not ready to love from this.
No, nah.
And if she has a side guy on the side, that's awesome.
But yeah.
She's showing up differently for him.
Yeah. Exactly. Sabrina gets challenged by the men for speaking up for themselves. She attacks them. This isn't unique to her. Some women on Twitter are calling him whip baby for speaking out and countering her. No, I understand that. I don't know. Sabrina's a common denominator here. I'd be fed up too. Yeah, she's
100%.
But I just, to be honest, I'm going to be real stank when I say this. I'm happy these guys are experiencing it because these are the type of women y'all need to shake up your stuff because these are the type of women y'all chase and y'all want to sit up here and be all up in front of and do this and do that. And so that's what you get. I'm not even mad. This is what you get.
For sure. But that's unfortunate because that's not what the show's supposed to be about. Like,
but if it's dating,
but it's
right.
ready. But it's supposed to be ready to love,
right?
Not ready to date. Still figuring myself out in the process. Like, and we're eliminating people because they're not ready to love. But we keep eliminating people when there's everyone still left that isn't ready to fucking love, except for one or two people. So I think that's the problem.
I think
they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. They need it. You know, it's a great opportunity for them to grow, whether they do or not. Who knows? But like, can that be a different show? Can that be? There are different shows like that. I mean, have you watched The Ultimatum? Like, you know what I mean?
But a lot of people love it.
Gosh, shit, it's because it's you can't stop watching the train crash. It's fucking. These young people are crazy.
Yeah,
chaotic. Oh God, we couldn't talk about that. I would be talking so much shit and speaking truth, but so much shit. Like,
It
oh,
sounds like chaos.
it is chaos.
Jessica said the ultimatum. The ultimatum is cray cray.
Girl, I can't. Did you see the reunion, Jessica? Did you see the reunion? Did you see the reunion? Homegirl is pregnant. I couldn't.
Oh man, y'all, I'm already triggered. I can't.
I
Just
can't.
pop up pregnancies. I don't do well with that.
But the beautiful thing about that, in the most really fucked up way, is that this man loves this pregnant girl so much, no matter how much she pushes him away, doesn't want him. He's still like, it's the
See,
most
look what y'all
toxic,
like.
unhealthy thing in the world. And he's like,
Y'all like
did
it.
that. I got her pregnant. She don't even really love me. And she's an asshole to me. And she gets drunk and like all these things. And he's still like, I still love her for everything she is. I'm like, damn.
This is why I don't care. This is why I don't care how Sabrina treats these guys, because y'all love it. Y'all don't want to be loved. A lot of y'all don't want to be loved properly. You want to go through cray cray first. It is what it is. And I don't know. I don't know if it's an issue with
I get that.
Your relationship with your parents, your mother, your ex.
Whatever
I don't know what it is, but a lot of dudes chase cray cray. They love it. So Sabrina, I'm not mad at Sabrina.
I really like Tori.
Oh, I know. Me too. He seems like a really cool dude.
I hope he slides into your DMs and you guys have wine on FaceTime together.
He don't need to slide into my DMs. He got my number.
You know what I mean?
I know. I'm just being extra.
Got married the same day to get girl. Like I can't.
Girl. That sounds the ultimatum sounds crazy.
Yeah, Jaimi. You have to watch it.
I'm getting anxiety.
That's exactly what me and Snej say. We're like, I have so much anxiety watching these people.
Oh my God, I would be like screaming.
But point is that's what this show is supposed to be about. That
right? We're supposed to be beyond that.
We supposed to be what? Anyways, we talked about enough. Who's the next date?
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the chat, Nomi. Obsession can lead to crimes of passion. You ain't never lied. You gotta be careful. You ain't never lied about that one.
Especially in your 20s. That's a good show.
Very unhinged.
Crimes of passion.
So yeah, Donovan and Sabrina, their date. It was hard to watch. I don't even know. It was childish.
I liked it though.
Both of them. It was just whatever.
But I liked it because it was like, just because I'm like, if you're not going to give me the real shit, you can give me drama. Because it was so forced. You know, this was like production, right? It felt so forced. It was fun to watch the drama for a second. Because it was fun to see him be played. When he
it was. Genuinely, honestly. Like, how does that feel? Okay, so now watch this.
Okay, so then Donovan and then Carmen.
Dakia and P.O. though. Oh, yeah, Donovan and Carmen. Well, let's go. Since we're on Donovan, let's knock him out.
Yeah, let's stay with him.
I don't even know where Donovan's
mama
came from.
Is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He said she's like a wild horse that can't be tamed. Those were his words about his own mother.
You can tell that he is still, trust me, I know what he's going through with the mom. Like, he is still triggered by her shit. And like, yeah, like what you really bringing that up as a conversation point to have someone get to know me? Like, what kind of lower level freaking can we? That was not the way that Clifton's family handled this shit.
Oh,
and that's his own mom that acts like this. So no wonder he's been a player too. He can't trust his fucking shit around him. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a wild horse as a mother, where is the stability and nurturing in that makes you feel like you can be capable?
And an absent father on top of it. What's your foundation?
Where is it? So hopefully the show has been that tool that's helped him find his own foundation through all of it. And that made him emotional. He's definitely cut the umbilical cord, so he don't let his mama run the show like she thinks she does. It's good stuff. He's doing what he needs to do, but it's still impacting him in his romantic life when we're seeing that. And I think he will probably learn from it. I actually, from this episode, started liking Donovan more.
Yeah, it made him seem more normal, right? And whatever that means, like more of a we're getting more humanity from him.
Yes, I mean, we did that first episode. We saw him. We were like, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah,
and then the way they edited it made most likely, and the things that we've been seeing, it's just kind of been like, man, he's falling for the wrong person. Did all of that shit. But then this episode came, and I was like, oh, I see the human person that I really liked in the first episode again. You know, like see his mom, and like it was cool. I enjoyed that. Donovan's mama was a hoot. She's saying no man is good enough for my baby 1 minute, the next asking Cameron digits up. Yeah.
I'm tired already.
Yeah.
I need to take a nap after his mother. I'm glad Carmen
Um,
showed up with flowers and her tatas covered. She showed up
I
like a
love
real
Carmen.
uh
Because she knows what she's
yeah,
doing.
exactly. This
Carmen
is
knows
what you
how to
do,
do this
girl.
thing called life.
Yeah,
She
she's
really
navigating
does. And even the way that she still entertained his mom and still won his
she
mom
was
over,
all
she
in
is just,
line.
that's why I love Carmen. She just knows
She
how to do this thing called life.
she does. She nailed it.
Donovan's mom is a lot, but it was great seeing her interaction with Carmen. Miss Carmen wouldn't trust that mom with knowing anything about me, though. Yes. Yeah.
That'd be really uncomfortable because she's gonna go full throttle and
Oh,
not give a
she's gonna
damn about
thrive off of
you.
that shit. She's gonna be
Especially because
like,
nobody's good enough for her baby. She's gonna be like, see?
mm,
And that's
see?
why.
And that's why he's not. You didn't even.
Mama, you
And that's
cute
the
though,
best
but
part is Carmen knew how to handle that. She still knew how to handle that and that type of personality and come out on top.
mm-hmm.
Fucking Carmen, man. Carmen,
Yeah.
Carmen, Carmen.
Yeah, she nailed that. I can't even front. Yeah, his mom said, don't ruin it. His mom was impressed. His mother said,
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
yeah, she knows who she is, what she wants. She's a winner. She's the keeper. And that was just off of what this is just still chaos to me because I don't know where Donovan and Carmen came from. This is not a match for me, so I can't really sit my brain and rest on this, or else it would be cute. I'm glad he was open to introduce her to the
Well,
mother, and I just don't understand their connection. What
well,
do you
I don't
think?
either. But to be fair, after seeing his mom, I kind of understood the connection.
Oh. Mm.
Like I was like, oh. And then the way that she was able to handle the mom, I don't know. To me, it finally made sense. I don't
Oh.
I don't know if it's for TV, it's production, whether they're doing anything. I don't know, but I felt like the question mark wasn't there after the interaction with the mom. I don't
I
know
guess
why.
that does make sense. Interesting. Hmm. See, I'm separating it like, but I guess it's not mutually exclusive. This whole experience makes sense. Um, I don't see it as a go, but I get how. Oh God, I can't. I never got Donovan and Carmen, so my brain is just like, what's happening
Yeah.
here? Even them kissing at the end, I'm like, that's where y'all at? Y'all kissing on the mouth and just going. I just don't know. Okay.
I thank you for bringing that up because I was like very, very much paying attention to the people that met up and they kissed when they met and the people that
I
didn't.
know.
Let's
Yes.
talk about how Paul didn't even stand up for Dakia almost. The
And he was
fuck?
worried about his chair.
The fuck?
I'm not trying to
I
take your
can't.
chair,
I
honey. It's called
can't.
greeting
I
people.
can't. I can't. His whole ass is always showing, and it is not cute. It is not cute.
She believed Carmen and Donovan more than Pio and Dakia.
I believe that more.
And the kind of woman Dakia is, I'm
Right.
surprised she hasn't just
Exactly.
bowed out, but she's just being open and receptive and available. But she's just
I'm
along for the
surprised she.
ride.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't even know why.
It's like Carmen too. I think she's just along for the ride. She's having fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't really make for good TV, guys. Just side note again. It's
Right.
not
Not
really
for this
giving.
show.
It's not
Yeah.
giving. Yeah, it's not giving.
Excuse me.
So
I want
Dakia
to
met with.
see Carmen on like the House of Potomac. I think she'd be a
Oh
great
my gosh,
actress
she'd
for
be
that
a
cast.
riot. That's what
I
she
think
needs to be
fucking she'd
doing.
be
She'd run that
such good
thing.
on.
She'd be Nene
Can
2.0.
somebody make that happen? Put fucking Carmen on the Housewives of Potomac. That shit would be good.
Yeah, it
That
really
be
would. I
fucking
would love
good.
to see more of her in her element and just fluttering about the city, doing her damn thing. And in her business and this and that and running these guys.
100%.
She's living. Carmen is
And then let's just
living.
go with it. And then because she's with Donovan. Who cares? She needs to be, she's supposed to have be a housewife. Oh, your wife. But just saying, like, that'd be fun. That'd be awesome.
It would be fun. And it would make
Um,
sense,
Yeah.
Because Dakia, Pio, the brother Kellen, I liked the brother Kellen. I thought he had a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, it felt like that was the
He
one
has
that
great
got the stuff, and the
questions.
other one, the PO, is the one that just
The leftover egg.
Yeah, that's what
The
it felt
scrambled
like,
egg.
for
I
sure.
shouldn't say that.
No, but yeah, it felt that way.
Yeah.
How could you not like Dakia?
That's what I'm saying. And I love now what I do give PO is Kellen said that Dakia's answers were textbook, but PO was right when he said, well, he just doesn't understand Dakia and her demeanor. And he nailed it with that. Because I get how her answers could have sounded textbook to someone, but I bought it because she was very, oh, well, why are you looking for love? Like, she just gave off this great resume and it's so beautiful. Well, why are you looking? It's not about looking. It's about being open and receptive. And that's correct. And I understand how that can sound textbook, but I'm glad P.O. knows Dakia enough to know that wasn't some cookie cutter, like, that's real talk, because that's how she is. So
Yeah, I relate to like that with Dakia a lot. Like that's,
yeah.
like I would, because I watched these and I'm like, God, I wonder if they would say that I have cookie cutter answers. Because I feel like
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
Because I would be like Joy, though. I think I would be really thoughtful in bringing on what they say and then coming forward with it if I had that connection with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was with somebody like P.O., my cookie cutter answers, they would be genuine, but you wouldn't be getting much of me because there's nothing for me to give to this person. So
there's nothing running under the skin.
No.
There's nothing there.
USPS.
And Dakia aren't so genuine because we can see from their interactions that nothing is there. They're just writing out the show.
Yes. Done and done.
Yeah. And exactly what the both of you just said. It's like, this is going to sound a little cookie cutter because she keeps saying he just feels like the homie. And he is. There's nothing. They're not finna ride off into the sunset. Yeah. No, it's not happening.
She's not an idiot. She's not stupid.
So exactly. So done with them. They just, I don't even know. God, this
who's next?
Reunion is going to be a nightmare.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh God, let's get on Demetrius and Sabrina, please, because we could take time on this because this is a hot mess. First of all,
I need a joint.
Oh my God, I'm rolling up after this. Demetrius, I am seeing more of him, which I like. I feel like this episode made me feel like I could sit and eat with Demetrius, not be his wife, not be his bestie, but to sit and eat with him. Because I started off being like, okay, Demetrius, and then I was like, ugh. But now I'm just like, we can eat. Gosh, I really do feel like Sabrina is taking these men for a loop because she ain't all on them, and I kind of like to see it. He definitely seems like he's just competing. She's not giving him anything. So what is it that Demetrius
How are you so surprised when she tells you the truth? How are you so shocked? She's not. How do you think she's giving you something when she's not? But we just talked to Tori, and they have been on way more dates than we see and know. And it sounds like to me, she has been giving herself to all of them, and that's why they're fucking frustrated. He, on the other point, Demetrius is only in it for the competition. He don't give a fuck about her. He just wants to be like, I'm the one that won.
I got that. Right? She was so decided amongst all these men, but
she's been playing them. She's been playing the shit out of them, 100%.
Yeah.
And they're fed up. They should be. And
correct.
Like you said, it's nice to see a role reversal, no doubt about it.
Yes. Yeah.
But she's playing the shit out of them.
Yeah, I don't know why he keeps going back to this. Might be a test for him.
Wants to win at all, no matter the cost.
That's all I'm seeing.
That's the worst mentality to have.
That's all I'm seeing. He just wants to win. I'm not really seeing anything else from Demetrius. I don't really buy that he's willing to work on this and willing to work and maybe eventually. And I didn't say this but then also Sabrina is beating a dead horse with this whole submissive thing, blah, blah, blah. I can't stand this submissive thing in this conversation because, I mean, really, at the end of the day,
she's just trying to find an excuse. Come on. Every time bringing up the same shit. Like he said, that's just been talked about. We've already navigated through that. Like, can we move on?
He was even like, we're talking about this again. I thought we covered this. Then the wife taking the last name. I felt like she was just trying to
avoidant.
Bring in more
drama.
That word, like chaos, like static. Yeah. Just more static. That's what it is.
More reason.
She's been pushing him away.
Exactly. More reason, more justification to be like, no. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
I told you she keeps she gonna be a little dot. You ain't gonna see it. Like, it's just, girl.
And she did. She ended up dotting and taking herself out of the experience.
And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Just self-eliminate, boo-boo. That's the best option for you. Because he's tired of this conversation about submission. I'm tired of the conversation. She
She
didn't want to meet his family. Like, you're not even trying to play a lot. Like, girl, bye.
You hear
I'm
mad
tired.
at these other people for not playing the game and showing up like Tina, but you ain't even actually doing the process. This is a show. You couldn't have just that triggered me so hard. She is so avoidant. This whole season, she is so avoidant and makes excuses. That's why I still stand by my man. The way he read the shit out of her that episode, he got Laverne. When Laverne read her ass, I was like, and people have so much to say, but guess what? Was he right? Where are we at? Where are we at now? Where are we at? Where's Laverne? Laverne.
Right. We need to bring Laverne on, huh?
We need to bring Laverne on. I want to talk to Laverne. I feel like we would have a fucking fun time.
Yeah, he's amazing. I'm telling you, all the signs are there. Sabrina has a connection outside the show. Yeah,
you're so right. I'm buying that. Since you said it, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
Because
it's like Walter
last
last season had somebody off the show, and like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that makes so much sense, Jessica. Do you know this for fact? Because we know you bring in the hot tea, or is this just the information you're gathering from your observation? I'm with Sabrina on the last name part. Keep your name says that's your identity. Why don't both hyphen their names? That's fair to me.
That's it, to each their own situation. I don't know what to say about that.
I feel with you.
I'm personally excited, but I just really want to like be with somebody and do the whole thing. And I get it's really traditional. I do think that there could be something really cool about really keeping the woman's name almost, because the children are birthed through us. So there'd be something special about it, but I'm cool with that. So I know some people aren't. I got a really amazing last name, so this brother better be something else, because Jaimi Nicole Alexander has been me since I was born, and I don't know.
You should hyphen and add something to it, not take away. That's what I think.
I don't know. I'm okay. I don't know how it's gonna go. It is an identity thing, though. It is a bit. I don't know.
Well, you're attached to the traditional sense of it too. Though. For
I
me,
do
that's
like
what
tradition.
Marriage encompasses. Yeah,
correct.
So that makes sense for you.
Yeah, but then I don't
gay.
know how I'm gonna feel. Like I don't, I'm Jaimi Nicole Alexander. That's who I am. Like, to give up Alexander altogether, but then I see the beauty of the possibility, because me joining with my husband, I'm not Jaimi Nicole Alexander. I'm with him. So it's a new identity. I don't know. I don't have to cross that bridge right now.
There's a lot of ways
but I'm not going to fight it
for sure.
Yeah.
Question for all y'all.
Okay, there we go. I keep my own name professionally. Not mad at that. My persona is Jaimi Alexander, but my ID says Jaimi Nicole, whatever my fine-ass husband's last name is.
I'm a hyphener. That's how it's going to be for me. Here's the question. How do you decide which name goes first?
If you're a hyphener? Oh, well, then you keep your full name and their name goes at the end. I don't know what the man would do. He just keeps his name. So Jaimi Nicole Alexander, da-da-da.
So Gustavo Victor Carr, da-da-da.
Da-da-da.
I love it. I'm into it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Because then you got to think about the kids. Like, I have a friend who hyphenates. Yeah.
What is there so much to think about with the kids, though? How is it going to affect the kids having two names as last names?
Well, I have friends who have gifted their baby daddies, not husbands. The child has his last name, and I also have a couple of friends.
I'm so happy I don't have my dad's last name. Keep going. I'm just like, thank God my mom didn't do that. Keep going.
Right. And then I have a couple of friends who hyphenated their kids' last names. Like, nah, homie, and you're not my husband, so. It's just that all of it is just. Let me just speak ease into all of that for me, because it's just I can't.
If you're present in this child's life and we are raising this kid together, it's hyphenated or his, right? Like, but if hyphenated or his, because you were a sperm donor, and you're not in my life anymore, and I have this baby that you're not involved with their life, you don't get my last name. You don't get you don't get the legacy of this child that I'm bringing into this world.
And that makes sense. So,
what else? I'm starting to fade. What else?
I think that's
streets?
it. We've covered. I didn't do anything in the streets because I haven't been busy. I haven't even been like
pre-show too. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, and so this was the last lounge, which means I'm assuming that there's one. I think there's one more episode, and then the reunion, if I'm not mistaken. All is well. There's another episode coming. So in the last lounge, everybody was pretty straightforward. I'm just looking at my notes. Dimitri is still being like they're in a rebuild phase. She really Sabrina took these dudes for a loop. Like, I think it's funny. Oh, I love seeing dudes get there sometimes. I'm sorry. Call it what you want. Like, because dudes be acting a fool. Now it's just really interesting. What you mean you in a rebuild phase? Bruh. Whatever. But Tommy made up a good point. He's like, all that air would have gone out of him if she didn't want to break bread with his family. It's really simple.
I
Simple.
really appreciate when Tommy's real.
Keep it simple. That's what you would tell anybody. If it was me in the situation, if it was...
These guys, man, they'd be really shocked. I'm so surprised they're shocked and they don't see this shit. But then Tommy's like, and they're like a deer in headlights, like, oh shit. And sometimes they don't even fucking hear it. I mean, look at fucking homeboy from last season. He didn't hear shit he was saying. He's still with that crazy girl. They're still pretending to be together, probably. But...
And yeah, I guess the last thing that turned me off was Sabrina was like, I know the severity of meeting a parent. I think she's really under her own story because she being like,
excuses.
She unless we were getting married.
Dodging always.
Yeah.
She
acts like a man.
These men, yes, and guess what those kind of men that act like that do? They end up alone. So.
But you know what? They end up alone, or I believe because of the way she treats men, she'll just end up with somebody that she can do what she wants to do, how she wants to do it, because that's what men do. Mm-hmm. They just end up with the chick that it fits. I'm cool. I'm comfortable. I run the show. They do what and I can. She don't have to be alone if she don't want to, because there's gonna be some dude that falls for it. She has that. These fun appletons are for the advertisers. Bring on the reunion already. I agree. It's been 2 hours.
I'm so ready for this. Like this, we've been saying that for like the last 5 episodes. Like we could have just gone to the reunion.
So guys, we were thinking about reviewing Real Housewives of Dubai. We haven't seen anybody yet.
What do you
guys think?
I know Atlanta starts soon. The next season of Atlanta. That's gonna be so juicy. I can't wait.
He said you didn't talk. Oh, Atlanta's coming back, but who's on it? Portia.
Oh, you didn't talk. Thank you for that. Actually, I'm sorry because I'm tired. That's why. But thank you for bringing that up. We talked about he was interrogating UPS about like I like to be calling fucking. It was so great for Tommy to be calling fucking Paul on his basically.
Like, where did that come from? So how long did this
like
it took you to
like him being like, bro, I see you're just trying to stay on the show. Like I see this now. I see it now. Like maybe I fell for it in the beginning. I wasn't believing in you and all that. He's like, no, I ain't buying your shit.
Right.
I'm buying it.
And Donovan being like, I'm extremely happy with my choice. You extremely happy with Carmen Donovan? Boy, I can't, y'all.
Where can we watch Real Housewives of Dubai? What is that on, Bravo?
It's Bravo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you don't,
are they gonna have it on ours? Though?
Access? I don't know.
I don't know if they'll have it.
Sometimes I watch shows on Broken Silence or Mr. World Premiere. If you know about it, you do. If you don't, you don't. But I call those my ghetto sites. Broken Silence or Mr. World Premiere if you don't have cable TV, I think. Yeah, I heard it's on Bravo. It's
the Real
Bravo
Housewives
thing.
It could be fun. He already posting. He got an acting gig.
Tommy needs to have the same conversation with Aunt Takia too, because they both doing it, but she's getting by under the radar. She is, because she's cute and sweet and amazing.
100%. Yeah,
but
that's
girl,
at least cute and amazing and sweet. Can't say that.
Instead of ridiculous.
Theo has no substance. You can't. When I watch him, I just think like, wow. Because as an actor,
look at your body language. You want to pull your hair out.
You have to be full. Yes, that's what I feel. Because you have to be full of life being an actor. He there's nothing there, and then he tries to talk sweet and try to make us pretend that we like him. Oh, like how the fuck he gonna act? Good luck. I can't wait. I mean, a lot of people can't act and they're working. I get it, trust me. But like, what the fuck he gonna do? I ain't gonna believe shit he does. I ain't gonna believe in that role.
Y'all, this has been too fun.
Mission accomplished, bro. You stayed in the show. You got the clout you wanted from it.
Mission
accomplished.
And you didn't
need it. You were successful. You're doing fine. You're a great businessman. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're a great human being and all those things. But mission accomplished. Good job. I'm not mad at you, actually. You played the game really well.
Okay? Because that's all I'm seeing.
That's it. Play the
Is
game
what it
well.
is. Right?
You deserve the props for sure.
Oh, Lord.
Time to cut out.
Yeah, this has
you
been so
guys.
much fun,
2
guys.
hours. Holy shit.
Having Tori on was amazing. Those of you who are now tuned in, if you missed Tori, you can watch the beginning. We talked for an hour. He was absolutely amazing, sharing his insight, his heart, the way he chooses to raise his kids, the things that he's learned, the way this has grown him, and just a little bit of behind the scenes about the show. And then you had our take on things. So we will see you next week, Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, just like we always do, to talk that stuff on Everything Ready to Love as we wrap up this season that has been wrapped up. Okay?
And again,
Bye.
Tori, it was such a pleasure. It was such
Tori
a
was
pleasure having
amazing.
Tori.
And we're going to, yeah, it really was.
And all of you, Jessica, B, Najee, I'm forgetting the other
Mona,
one.
Nomi.
Mona, yeah, yes, that one. Everybody, thanks for being here. We had a great time with y'all.
Yes. All right, y'all. Until next time, enjoy
Bye.
your weekend. Bye.